going on? Welcome back to CKQ Podcast. I'm your host, Clement. And before I introduce the lovely panel, you want to do me a favor and hit that like and subscribe button for more shows like this every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern. And now for the panel. We have our returning guest.
Hey, what's up, everybody? I'm Black Wall Street LLC. You can find me on YouTube. Come to the channel, watch some of the videos. Let's talk about our trade options, our trade stocks, and cryptocurrency. So if you want to fire your boss, let's have a little conversation.
Love it. Next up, we have Chris.
Hey, thanks for having me, Clement. My name is Chris. I have a channel called The Blooming Ebony where we talk about femininity and growth. And I also have an Instagram that you can follow at The Blooming Ebony.
Awesome. We got Sam and her dog.
I actually have two dogs. Hi, I'm Sam. I'm in San Antonio, Texas. This is my first time being on a live podcast, so I'm actually super nervous, but I'm just going to get through this with y'all.
There you go. With y'all, people, with y'all. And last but not least, Elmer. What's going on? You're muted, Elmer.
Can you hear me?
There you go.
Okay. Hi, everybody. My name's Elmer. I don't have a channel. I'm just Clement's consummate special guest.
But he is a TikToker with some
I have a
videos.
TikTok. Follow me on TikTok at Spanish Lotus.
There you go.
Thank
And
you.
we have one last person coming in. She doesn't have her camera on yet, but we'll still allow her to talk. Welcome, Japrice. When she is ready. But we're going to pretend that she was ready.
Sorry. I'm so sorry.
All right. Let's try that again. Japrice, introduce yourself.
Okay, so hello everyone.
Hi.
My name is Japrice, and I don't have like a platform or a channel or anything like that. I will be having one soon. Yeah. So I'm gonna show my face in about like 5 minutes.
All right. Excited to have you. The kids are excited to have you. All right. Perfect. So,
Clem,
Elmer,
yeah, you drinking something?
water.
Now I'm
Water?
drinking some tonight. Yeah, baby.
Water. Starting off with water for now.
Okay.
I got mine.
I got my rum and Coke.
I got my
That's
dole with fruit in it.
Okay. That's some good stuff. Okay, cool. But we are going on to the first question of the night. While courting, if one party stops interacting, then the feelings are most likely gone. While courting, if one party stops interacting, then the feelings are most likely gone. Elmer, lead the way here. While the
Okay.
while the still strong.
Yeah, yes. So I'm like a consummate like relationship guy. Like I fall in love with like every girl as soon as I look at them. As soon as they give me any attention, I'm like, okay, that's gonna be my girlfriend for like 3 or 4 years. So when I was thinking about this question, I'm like, that's definitely me. If you don't see me texting you, then I probably lost interest. How it's been so far is that, the life happens and people are busy and stuff like that. But the general rule is that, yeah, if when you're first dating, like there's an obsession or like there's like an addictive quality to it, especially like meeting someone new. So I feel like that's for the most part true. Like if you don't want to talk to them, then it's probably most likely that you're not into them.
That's fair. That's good. Chris, let's go to you.
Yeah, can you hear me?
Yep.
I think yes, but during courting, I feel like what also happens is that some people try and court for too long, and the other party wants more. They want things to speed up, and a lot of people, and in my experience, especially women, aren't good at expressing what they want, and so they'll court knowing that they want to be married in a short period of time, or they want to at least be exclusive in a short period of time, but they don't communicate that, and they get frustrated and they just stop talking to the person because they didn't want to be courting for however long. And so I think it's either a lack of feelings for the person, or someone wants more and they feel like the other person isn't providing what they need.
Can I ask something?
That's interesting.
Wait,
Would you?
hold on to that? Hold on to that.
Okay,
I want to get everyone first, but hold on to it. John.
I was pretty sure of my answer until Chris opened her mouth. I'm not so sure. You know what? For the sake of this panel, I'll just say, for me, if as much as I love to interact, if I stop interacting with you, man,
It's done.
Yeah.
Feelings
I'm
are
pretty, yeah, because I'm a very interactive, kinesthetic type person. Yeah, if I stop interacting, yeah, it's a wrap.
It's a wrap. Sam, what are y'all saying over there?
Well, we like to have people like act like Southern gentlemen. I'm just kidding.
Boy, she took me back to roots on that one, guy.
Hey, I may not have the accent, but y'all is probably one of my favorite words. So I'm going to be saying that a lot. So if that bothers you, then
I'm in Alabama. I relate.
I know, it's like, just mute me if it's
No, I relate.
It's a funny word. It's a funny word. I like it. It's a funny word.
So this question's kind of weird for me because it's been a long time since like I've courted or been courted or realized that someone was trying to court me. So like, let's say, I guess hypothetically, if I was being courted and I stopped interacting, it doesn't necessarily mean that I don't have feelings for that person. It most likely means that I'm just way too busy to respond. But in all honesty, like that's like being straightforward about being busy is part of the courting process as well. So if I don't tell you that while you're trying to court me, and I just kind of ghost you, I'm just basically ghosting.
Then the feelings are gone. Feelings are gone, or there probably weren't feelings then.
Yeah, but I don't know. I'm a pretty expressive person when it comes to feelings. So like, if I'm not feeling someone, I probably would tell them like before even just stop interacting.
Stop talking to them.
Yeah, I'll probably just be like, yo, like I'm not feeling this. But like Chris was saying, like some women don't know how to express what they want, and then I'm the other side of the spectrum where I am maybe too expressive. So like, yeah, just be like that.
Okay, that's fair. Japrice, what are we saying? What are we talking?
Okay, so when I think of the word courting, I'm thinking of, you're dating with the intention of getting married. So if someone stops interacting, like just completely stops, or they're like interacting starts to get slow, I believe in a way that kind of meaning that their feelings are being gone, but obviously that's the wrong way to do it. But ideally, the person that stops interacting, I'm guessing that means that their feelings are gone.
Okay, you don't think they could be busy?
Can you repeat that again?
You don't think they could be busy?
Well, then that doesn't mean that they've stopped interacting. That means that they're just like busy.
Right.
Yeah.
I have a question for the ladies, because that's what I'm like wondering. Like, is busy ever, and with guys, like it's almost never that they're too busy. So with girls, is it always? So with girls, is it always? Is busy a real thing, or is it not? You know what I'm saying? Like, is busy mean that you're actually busy, or does busy mean that you're not playing with this motherfucker anymore?
Like who you are.
Sam, you got a fan?
Oh yeah, hi girl. What's up, Madison?
She's gonna be on next week.
Oh,
Tune in.
Okay, good. I'll be on. But one more time, the question was.
Well, like I was just because she
busy ever is busy ever an actual reason, or is it busy ever an actual thing, or is it just a reason to slowly ghost?
Dang, Dang.
is an
Okay.
excuse.
I feel bad because like I'm so biased because when I say I'm busy, like I'm really busy. Like I work a full-time job and then I do like some other shit on the side. So like,
Let's be real.
when
Have
I
you,
But are
have
you
ever-
are you in a relationship?
no, I've actually been single for probably like almost 3 years now. So I guess it's probably the worst.
Oh, that's way too long. But but when you were getting courted and you were in a relationship, like the feelings for that person, could there ever have been a time when you're like, I'm too busy for you? As busy as the busiest you've ever been, if you like them enough, would you have been like, I'm too busy, I don't have time for you?
You know, that's a deep question, and you're right. Like you're right. Like I'm never too. It's like I've
if
been.
you like the person, you're never gonna be too busy.
Yeah.
I mean,
That's right.
you'll be looking over, like you'll be at working on something very important, and you hear that come in, and you're like, oh damn, it's time to check my text right now. It's probably them. Like you're
Yeah.
excited to
Yeah.
hear from them every second.
Yeah,
Yeah.
you're actually right. Now that I think about it, going back in my brain archives, like, yeah, I do remember those feelings.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
like that's the way that goes. I mean, I can be busy. Like old boy cannot be busy.
Yeah.
But my girl made me realize that, you know, if you love me the way you say you do, I can get a minute.
Right.
And I'm like, yeah, you're right. Yeah.
But like even before that, even like just like on three dates, you're like infatuated by each other. Like I could be killing someone, and she texts me, I'd be like, all right, hold on, and then I just started texting them again. You know what I'm saying? Like be in the middle of like chopping someone's body up, and I'm like, wait, let me reply.
That's what we're going
And
to.
that's what we're doing.
You know, you got every woman on the panel thinking you're a damn undercover, low key serial killer. You know that, right? Like, as soon as you said that, you shaved your face, then you made another damn example using a weapon. Like, oh shit!
I got you.
I'm pretty sure he's got some bodies on him. He don't look so.
You're muted. She's trying to talk, but she's muted.
Who?
Oh, me.
You-
Oh yeah, I was.
oh.
Oh yeah. I was meant to be mute, but I was
Oh,
just
I'm
gonna
sorry.
say, I was just gonna make a comment if I can. I remember when I first met my husband, I was on my last year of being in the army, and I remember having to go to the field, and so in the field, like it's like nonstop. Like we would sleep out in the woods, like and so the civilian world is like considered sleep out in the woods. No chargers, no electricity, no nothing. Like no nothing. Like you couldn't even like be on your phone. And I remember that they had collected all of our phones, and this is like in the beginning of like the courting or like the freshly dating with my husband and I. And I had my Apple Watch, and I would text him. I wasn't supposed to. I was at the range texting him on my Apple Watch like full paragraph. If anyone has like Apple Watches, like sometimes you'll have to like spell out the word or write the word out or like type in like a little. It's like really ridiculous. But I remember like
This struggle was
And
real.
technically I was busy, but I still made
And
that
you were-
effort and
and-
that excitement.
Yeah, and you were the busiest. You were in the field, in the army. Like you had like jihadis behind you, and you're like, wait, hold on, let me text
No,
this
man,
guy.
listen.
You had
Yeah,
she had the
fucking squirrels
Taliban right
her.
behind her, and she's like, I still gotta.
She had the
Yeah.
squirrels behind her and maybe a raccoon or two. And she ain't had no Taliban behind her right there.
So the level of interest in you is what dictates how
Yeah.
fast the response comes.
Absolutely, I
Yeah.
agree with what she said. You gonna make time. Oh,
Yeah.
you'll make some damn
Yeah.
time. I know I have. I've been in a minute. I
Now,
have 4 hours to turn some shit in. She called and I have 2 hours. I'm gonna give her a 1 minute turned into an hour, and an hour turned into 2. I'm like, boo, I have got to go. I gotta go. I
Yeah.
got 2 hours left.
yeah,
7-page paper. I gotta really do it. Procrastination is real.
So what are you gonna say, Elmer?
so like, though I guess John already like answered the question, but like, is like for you, Clem, is like the guy ever really busy too, or like is that just another excuse? You know what I'm saying?
I want to say
Depends on who it is.
It depends on who it is, but for guys, we've got some pretty bad advice, like for dating. I'm not gonna lie to you. All right, we had some pretty bad advice, which is you don't want to be texting too soon. You don't want to seem too clingy. You don't want to
Yeah.
like, and to a certain extent, that does make sense. But I think after you've gotten past the text each other and get those like, I guess that love drive going between you two. I think once you get that going first, then it's kind of like okay, now you don't want to. You need to separate each other's space a little bit. Give each other a little bit of breathing room. Because in the beginning, obviously you're gonna be infatuated with each other. You want to be around each other. You want to be talking. You're pretty much thinking about each other all the time. So I think that's normal to want that. But I think as guys, we've gotten the worst, or we've misconstrued the information and thought like right from the jump, you're not supposed to be trying to text or you're not supposed to be really trying to show that much emotion.
Yeah. Like you're trying to play like hard to get.
Yeah, you're trying to play cool.
You're just not trying to come across as a simp or
but see,
somebody who's like real clingy and just all the way too emotionally involved at this point in the relationship. Like, hey, what you doing now? Like, hey, I know it's only been 5 minutes. You said you were gonna call me back, but I'm at home if you want to call me back. I'm like, I'm not calling you back. No, that's like weird.
So then let me ask this.
Uh-oh.
Why no.
The fireworks, boy.
Because then that's genuine that's genuine attraction towards the other person. Why is that looked at as so undesirable?
I think it's because that desperation shows a lack of self-confidence in that person, that you always need to know what they're doing, like where they are. Like that's just really toxic behavior in general. Even if I had a friend that was like that, I'd be like, girl, you need to calm down. Like it's just a lack of.
Get yourself a nice glass of water or something.
Still help. It's
also a lack of like self-discipline and it's also maturity and like reality. Like you don't know who this person is yet. Like why are you devoting so much of yourself to them already? It's like a weird like, listen, like you got to be realistic. Like this might not be the person that you want to spend the rest of your life with. Like keep an objectivity to it. And like the beauty of girls, which is why they're the prize, is that they sense that already. Like they don't have to know that, like they don't have to articulate it, but they know that already when they see you, and they see it through your simping, you know.
I think you just gave women way too much credit just then.
Yeah. I feel like women are the ones that made it hard for guys.
Yeah.
I don't
women
know.
are the ones that. I'm sorry.
She right. Go ahead. Go on, girl. Go on with it.
Women are the ones who make it really hard for guys, especially now, because if they text consistently, oh, they're thirsty, or oh, he really likes me, let me play him, and the guys are, that's like men's like nature to do the chasing, and now guys don't want to do that because they get caught simps. They get caught thirsty. They get caught being thirsty, and I don't think that's a good thing, because who doesn't want to be who doesn't want to be chased? Like as a woman will always say, "Oh, he's too thirsty," but deep down, you actually like it. Like it kind of makes you feel like wanted. Who doesn't want to feel wanted? Who doesn't want to feel like as a woman? It's men too, but I'm speaking from a woman's perspective. Who doesn't want? And I've never called. Maybe when I was in high school, but like I've never called a guy who was trying to like chase me, quote unquote, thirsty, or like if I'm walking and a guy like, hey, how are you doing? You look beautiful, but I would never be like, or he's thirsty. And no, I'll respond back. That's men's nature, and that's just how God made them. And I don't like how women make it seem like that's such a bad thing, because that is literally, the men have been doing that for years.
Yeah, but the thing is, you got to distinguish the real dudes from the simps. Like you got you got to find a way to distinguish the guys that are there just to fuck or to use you, and the guys that are there to because they actually genuinely feel what they're feeling. So how do you do that? How do you distinguish between the guys that are playing a game and the guys that are actually like trying to look for something? And that's where the rules come from, or that's where like seemingly women are too hard on guys because like they're getting played all the time now. Like the guys are smart now. Like they're like trying to work girls. So like how is a girl supposed to go like?
Give you guys way too much credit, bro. But
Oh my mama! Oh my mama!
Well,
You know, I thought it was just me. I'm like, maybe I'm being too hard on poor Elma, but nah, I'm convinced
I'm
now.
gonna
Nah,
respond to
you're
you
giving
because
way too much credit.
when initial like period like I'm saying like
wait,
men.
hold that thought real quick, okay?
Okay, let me type it so I won't forget.
No. Hold it. Yeah, okay, that's fine. So anyone in the chat right now, I'm going to drop the link to the stream in the chat below. But remember, for every show, you can only come in for one question for the duration of the show. So pick wisely. The link is dropped. Japrice, continue. Go.
Okay, so you said how do women differentiate the simps from the real men? Because guys, because some women don't know if the guys wants to F you. Now, men automatically see women sexually attractive. That's the first thing. They look at looks. Yeah. So if a guy thinks you're attractive,
that means
he wants to have sex with you.
That's
just a man's nature. Yeah. And that's just a man's nature. So you can't really differentiate because the guy, like any guys that likes you and wants you, he wants to smash. He wants to have sex with you. That's just.
So are you saying that you can change any guy's mind, or is there guys out there, that have the capacity of that, and guys out there that don't? Because that's the simps and the real guys.
I think you differentiate. Oh, go ahead.
No, go ahead.
You differentiate by dating with your eyes and not your ears. So you don't listen to what a man says to you because you know that he's being driven off his sexual drive. You are looking for the men when they say they're going to do something, they do it. If they say, I want to be married, you don't have sex with them until they marry you. Let them show you who they are instead of just listening to their words and letting them tell you, oh, I love you. Oh, I want to spend the rest of my life with you. If they want to spend the rest of their lives with you,
watch them.
They'll do it, So like the issue with a lot of women isn't that men are these smart dogs. Like men are smart. But the issue is that we no longer listen with our eyes and actually see what they're doing. A man will say, oh, I want to be around you all the time. And then he won't text you back. And women will ignore that and be like, why doesn't he love me? And then he'll come around every once in a while. Then they think that he's going to be there forever. So the way that you differentiate is that you know your values, you know what you want, and then you don't stop chasing for what you want until you actually see the actions being done. Does that make sense?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, I agree with that. And also, I wouldn't say it's just, like, I'd say that should apply to, like, all genders in a general sense, So I would apply that. Like, I agree with that statement.
Wait, hold on, wait. Say that again? You said what? It should
apply to, like, all genders. It's not just men that need to, like, or it's not just women that need to see men, like, do, like, an action and it be the thing that makes them continue, like, talking to them. It should be both ways. Like, also women should do the same thing, if that makes sense. Like, some type of equality.
But now we're going to step back into the real world now, all right? Okay. Naturally, men are going to be the chasers, the pursuers. So most of the time, women aren't going to need to do anything besides pick. Correct?
Yeah.
Yes, no, Sam.
I mean,
y'all hear me over there?
I mean, I hear you, but I feel like we're talking on two different wavelengths right now. But
I'm genuinely curious. What are you actually thinking?
I mean, I don't know. I think that the reason I've been single for so long is because I hate thinking about things like this. Like,
what?
I know that's
I hate thinking about relationships, so I'm single.
Yeah, exactly. Outside of just friendships, like, I mean, I think it would just be nice to take a step back and start from there, and not you can't approach every relationship with some type of intention, you know? Men or women, like, you can't just be like, immediately assume that when you start a relationship with a man, like, it's going to turn into some type of courting or whatever, or vice versa. But that's just me. That's just how I
Do
do
you
it.
think that that is an issue that we have though in this society? You don't see that as you see that as a better way to move as opposed to an issue.
Nah, that's the issue.
The issue is what?
The issue is that like how you
Like,
so
there's no purpose.
you're saying that we should just freely move around until we feel something towards this person, then decide to move on to the next step,
Yeah.
as opposed to know that this is the person I could see a next step with, so I'm going to pursue this person.
I mean, I guess I wouldn't do a hard line on either or, honestly. Like, sometimes there is like a person that you see and you're like, wow, I really want to pursue them in a relationship that's more than just a friendship. But you can't expect the other person to just be like on board with that 100%, you know? Like, I don't know. I don't know how to.
Why?
Why? Because
Yeah.
you don't know how the other person feels. You don't control their feelings. You don't know their mind or how it works.
That's why they tell you they like you.
Exactly. So, yeah, you have to get to that stage, though. You know?
I mean, the problem with what you're saying is that there's like snakes out there. Like there are people are gonna say that they want to be your friend.
Right here. This
They're,
is
they're gonna want to be your
I'm not
friend just to be your friend. They want to be
I'm not
platonic
getting it.
friends with you, and they're gonna try to trick you. You know what I'm saying? They're gonna try to like play you like that. So I would rather someone go like, "Hey, listen, I'm romantically interested in you. You're an
Yeah.
attractive person. Let's hang out," and then I could make my decision from there. Like you can set the boundaries like that, because guys do what you're saying. They're all the time. Like, oh yeah, I'll be their friend, and then at some point she'll like me, you know. And like it's like snaky. It's like it's weird. So like I would rather like like
Be sure.
you. Yeah, I'm interested in you romantically. I'm interested in you as a friend. And to me, it's like those aren't really that different.
Right.
Like if you're attracted to someone as a friend, you're attracted to them romantically too if they're a girl. But you just make the decision. I'm gonna just be your friend. I'm gonna be her.
Are you saying that you can't be friends with a girl without being romantically attracted to her?
I was about
I'm
to
saying-
ask that question.
I'm saying that you shouldn't, because it's mad rude to her. If you don't think she's attractive, and you're just what?
See, that's what I'm saying. You see what I'm saying? You see all that pity pat going on between y'all? That's the problem with today's society. You talk too much about nothing. Date with a damn purpose. I'm a man. I'm single. I'm going out. I want a damn girlfriend. Period. Point blank. End of discussion. If I meet somebody, are you dating with a purpose? Are you dating with a purpose, or what you trying to do? Are you trying to have a one night stand? What are you trying to do? Because see, I want to be married sometime in the next 5 years. So if I'm going to marry in the next 5 years, that means I need to start finding a girlfriend within this next year to 2, because I don't know how long it's going to take us to be all the way there. I'm 90% there, but I'm going to need her to bring what she going to bring other than just her physical to this relationship.
John, by putting barriers on that, though, are you sacrificing?
Not barriers. That is identifying the whole idea of what I want, putting it out there, and it either fits you or it doesn't fit you. Because that's when you say, "Oh, well, that's great that you're doing that. I'm not looking for that." Okay, great. Thank you for not wasting my time, and you have a nice day. And I'm on. I'm moving on.
Right, but in putting like, let's say for example the 2 years you just said, in putting the 2 years, like how, like, don't you think that you might be missing out on?
No,
like,
I'm not missing out on anything, because see, that's when you start changing somebody. If she's not looking for that, I'm not going to make her look for that. I'm going to accept her answer is I'm not ready. That's not what I'm looking for, and I'm on to the next woman. It's just that simple.
But John, how are you so sure that that is what you want?
Because she told me. This is like saying if a woman, you ask a woman, "Hey, you want to have sex?" And she says,
what you
your
want, John. Like,
your
don't
wants.
you think that you could be subject to change, or subject to
about what I want?
To being inspired by someone, influenced by someone else?
No,
You
no,
got a fan.
no,
You
bro.
got
This
a
is why
fan.
you're supposed to date with intention.
This
You don't
is
just freely
your
date. Just
listen. This is your mind. This is my life. 6 years ago, I said by the time I'm 49, I'll have a PhD. I'm a year and a half away from that. I don't make my damn decisions based off the world around me. I make my decisions based on what is needed for John. So I make sure that every thing I do is going toward that goal. My short terms meet my midterms meet my end goal. Period. That's
Can I
how it
ask you-
works.
So, John, was the goal when you first had it the same as the goal as when you have it now?
Absolutely.
Didn't
Right there, I wrote the long-term goal down, and I did everything to meet that goal. Anything
Right.
else is operating outside of how a man works. A man works from a place of logic. If you're going to be wishy-washy all over the place, that means you were operating from a place of emotion. If your emotions change, then so does your goals. That's why women don't like certain men, because there are certain men who do operate from a place of emotion. Whether they learned it in a relationship, they still got some toxicity going on from a previous relationship, but now they're just really emotional. And that's when you should go back to what Chris was saying. You should really watch their behavior and stop listening to everything that come out their mouth, because a man comes from a place of logic. 1 + 1 = 2, not 1. If I'm sad, it may just be 1, or if I'm happy, damn it, it's 2.
First of
No,
all,
1 + 1
1
is
+ 1
2.
= 11.
Period.
All right.
You know what I'm saying? Like, you don't
Yes, sir.
operate. Men don't operate from a place of emotion, and you be all over the damn place. How can you be a decision maker? How can you lead this woman? How can you be the man of the house if you operating on an emotional platform? You cannot. She's not going to trust you to lead, which means she's not going to submit to you because she don't trust you.
Yeah.
You're not going to be that guy. You know what I'm saying? So no, this is my life. How am I like? Nah, I might want to get married next. No, well, don't change like that. No.
So yeah. Okay, I got you.
You come out
So that's
like you
it. You
date
wanna
with
say
a
something?
purpose.
So have you ever dated a woman that like changed your perspective on something?
Wait. Hold on, Elmer. Hold that thought. Ladies, hop in. What do you think? Sam, I actually saw your head nodding a couple of times, so clearly your mind was being changed or influenced.
No, I mean, I was just listening. I mean, John has a lot to unpack. He said a lot of things. After he said that, we were saying a lot of things, so I like that he did that. But yeah, I mean, yeah, don't really know what to say.
Chris.
That is conducted to the situation right now.
That's cool. Chris, let me hear you. What are you talking?
What comes to mind initially is I like John's answer, especially when he was asked if his goals have changed from then to now. I feel like this is something that's very important for a lot of young women to understand if they're trying to get married or if they're just trying to figure out what they want. I think a lot of the advice is don't plan now, plan for the life that you can have in the future. You know, this can come later. Plan for who that person could be in the future. You know, that's when we get into like the whole, like, you know, if you're a young lady, you need to learn who you are. You need to have all these experiences. It's important to know who you are presently and then think about your needs now. And of course, they can change over time and you adapt for those, but you don't want to think too far ahead and think, well, I can't make any decisions right now because it could change in the future. And so I like that he mentioned that.
So like always have like a base or like a
Always
or
have a foundation. Yeah.
foundation.
Yeah.
Based on your values typically don't change that much. You know, like they may shift from like the age of like 10 to 20, of course, but like typically around like 18, you kind of know what you value. You know, you don't want to lie. You don't want people to lie to you. Like, you know, your basic foundation.
Core
And so
value.
your core
Yeah,
values.
you have to believe in something or you'll fall for everything.
Exactly.
You have no core
Exactly.
values, then your mind changes with the trends.
Mm.
Everybody jumped on this all these recent trends. Most of them aren't even scientifically fallible, but they jump on them anyway. And it comes across as like you got a whole generation of suffering from some type of mental disruption but they are just trend jumping because they have no grounded values, something that they believe in. Because when you believe in something, somebody else can jump on there, but I don't believe in that. It doesn't
Yeah.
work for me, so I don't have anything to do with it. You do what you want to do.
Where do you get that belief? What age should you get that belief though?
Starts at home
What I'm
when you're
saying is,
three.
So
Starts at home when you're 3 years old, when you're learning good from bad.
So, like, piggybacking off of what Elmer is saying or asking, when do you really solidify your beliefs, or how do you test what are your own personal beliefs? Because now, let me just see
When
if
you
we bring it
probably,
back.
I got what
Hold
you're
on,
saying.
wait,
Probably
wait,
when you're
wait,
about
wait.
16 and you really start interacting away from your parents, because that's people will believe in what your parents believe in their present. But when you turn about 16 and your ass got a license and you can drive, this whole oh yes mother, I never smoked weed. Then fast forward and do a flashback. I can't believe my damn mama think I was smoking no weed, bro. These goddamn cookies going in. You know what I'm saying? Like what you do in front of them is like two different things. But this is where, like for me, I use that analogy because I don't smoke weed. I just don't smoke weed. I don't. And I was asked, and that answer was still no, when she was nowhere around. I remember stopping the whole car. I'm like, hell no, y'all can't smoke that shit around me. Let me out. Let me out. And I was scared I was going to get high. I was going to act weird. I didn't know what to expect. I was like, let me out. I'll walk home. So, but, so I guess when you're 16 and you're away from your parents, that's when you really start. That's when you solidify. That is definitely when you solidify what you really believe in. Like, do you believe in trying to have sex before marriage? If that's not your thing, or is that your thing? Like, are you after every girl as soon as you think you get away with her, you out here trying to have all the sex in the world? Like, this is when you start really solidifying your goals, like what you feel, like how you want to do it. Do you want to do it? I think about 16, when your parents are they're still influential, but you can hide stuff from them. You can still live in your own little secretive world. And I think, and then it just goes from there. And then you start moving them around, adding, subtracting, and by the time, like Chris said, by the time you're about 18 or 20, you pretty much know what you stand for, what you agree with, and what you don't agree with.
You wanna chime in on this?
I think they took everything. I think the only thing that I had to say was the conversation before this. So, but everything I agree with them. What's your name again?
Say it.
John.
Mm-hmm.
I agree with you, John.
Oh yeah, I've read
Spot
what
on.
you said, and I've been agreeing with you too. I just ain't chance to respond back yet on the text.
So let me ask you this, John.
Yeah.
Do you think that young men nowadays are growing up with the same knowing and understanding what their core values and beliefs are?
Nope. They're not being given any. They're getting their core values and beliefs from social media.
Emotions. Yeah.
They're getting it from social. They're getting validation from social media. They're getting validation from their friends. Their friends are giving them look at how, take about a 9-year-old kid playing Call of Duty. That kid, on average, according to last reports that I read, spends 16 to 20 hours playing a video game when there's no school. Sometimes even when there's school, because parents are not holding anybody accountable. Right? So they're on the phone with them because everybody knows you play Call of Duty with the headset, right? So what do you think they're talking about? The game the whole time? You crazy as hell. They talk about everything. I got a son, right? So who do you think they're getting their values from? That person is like I tell a lot of parents, you need to teach your children way earlier than what you think you need to teach your children. You need to have these conversations when you are still Superman and Wonder Woman in their life. Because when they hit 12 and 13, you are no longer their point of validation. According to Erickson, that's when you start going through the identity phase. And this is when they're trying to adapt and find out who they are and where their pecking order is. So where they are in their pecking order, they're going to have what's called motivating operators inside their schools, in places that they hang out that's going to influence them. And this is where you start to see a trend of things go, because your child, who may have up to this point, you may have, and it's a lot that goes around this. I'm not going to get into all that because parenting style plays a huge role on this. Whether you're too strict or you're not strict enough. If you're too strict, that's bad. And if you're too permissive, that's bad. If you don't have balance, right? Then that's going to be how your child starts to adapt around these identity issues. Like, who am I? Where's my pecking order? And that's going to, and how they see themselves, their self-image. If they don't have a strong self-image, then they're malleable. They're going to go to everything that these kids believe in, because they have no real self-image. So they're going to allow this group of kids to give them their self-image. And when they give them that self-image, now they have to live inside that image. They know they didn't get that image from on their own. They know that. Deep down inside, they know that. But they're going to follow this because they think that is the model they need to follow. Thus, the social learning theory. That's where that comes from. Bandura.
Can I ask a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
So you said that it's important to have the conversations when your kids are young. Do you think that you also have to embody those things too? Like, your kids actually have to see it as well? Like, if you tell your kids to value happiness, but they see their parents are depressed.
I think if you're going to be a leader, you need to lead by example. Because as a parent, essentially, you are the leader. Y'all are not on the same level. We are not friends. You understand what I'm saying? So I'm not trying to get you to like me, but I'm going to show you you're going to learn how to respect me in my position. But I'm going to lead by example. One of that is I'm not going to ask my kids. I don't ask my boys to do anything I can't do or I won't do. Right? So if I'm telling them to operate, if I'm telling my boy, learn to show mercy, the first example I get an opportunity to show mercy, and sometimes it's them. Sometimes it's them. Yeah, they need to see that. I mean, it's been them. I told you to be merciful. You did something I absolutely did not like. Okay, but I understand. So I'm going to show you mercy this time. But if it ever happens again, then you know. And believe it or not, as the older one, they were older, they understood, and it never happened again. So yeah, you need to show, like, you need to operate from a place of demonstration, and not that whole do as I say, not as I do is bullshit, and it's bad parenting. That does not work.
That's what my dad said the same exact thing.
Say that. Yeah. All right. That was good. Sam is frozen a little bit, but I'm sure it'll come back. Until then, we are going to move on to the next question. Drum roll, please. Is a power dynamic healthy in a relationship? Should there be a power dynamic?
Somebody tell me what this is.
In a relationship.
What is a power dynamic?
A power dynamic. Meaning one person kind of over the other, superseding. One person kind of makes the rules. They still talk, but one person has the ruling authority.
Absolutely. Yeah, it has to be.
All right, lead the way. Lead the charge.
Bro, if y'all a team, right? You a team, you agree with that?
Yeah.
Okay. So if you're a team, isn't there a coach?
Yes.
Somebody has to set somebody has to be in charge of the playbook.
Mm-hmm.
And y'all huddle up to make the plays. But at the end of the day, it will be held responsible for both parties' actions. True. It's just that's the way you got to look at it. Now, do I say, and men don't like it when I say this, but what's supposed to be and what actually is are two different things. Are you supposed to lead? Yeah. But are you fit to lead? Because, see, you don't get to run the relationship just because you're a man. See, because you sprouted a penis out, that don't make you in charge of the relationship. You have to do certain things to be in charge of that relationship. And I've met some guys whose wife runs the show. The wife gonna run the house no matter what. And she really, old school wives, they knew they knew how to make the man feel like he was the power dynamic. But she knew, and everybody else knew. The kids knew, everybody but him knew. Deep down inside, he knew that she if she ain't happy, she'll shut this whole damn operation down. So,
but isn't that how a good power dynamic works? It's respecting each other's authority now.
Yeah.
In each other's domain.
Because in the end of the day, you both have like an equal say in the relationship, but there is a person who has to be responsible for the actions of both. And that's the way I like to look at it. That has to be responsible for the action of both. And in most cases, regardless of what type of man it is, it's going to be the man. If something catastrophic happens, guess who the police question? The man. They ask him first, like, what happened? Where were you? Like, they ask you a whole bunch of questions. If y'all lose your house, if your car gets repossessed, your girlfriends, how did he let that happen? Like, there's somebody that's going to be held accountable for this. And, we are equipped to handle that responsibility. But not every man is fit to handle that responsibility. And that's just being real.
Yeah.
Sam, what do you think of this? Is power dynamic healthy in a relationship? Should there be a power dynamic?
I'm not sure. So was John the first person to answer that one? Am I the
Yes.
second one? Oh, okay. Yeah, sorry I dropped earlier. My laptop died. But I'm not really sure. I'm not really sure what it mean. What do you mean by a power?
I had to ask too, Sam. I had to ask.
So,
I had to
a
get
power
into the
dynamic
final.
meaning there's one person that makes the ruling authority, like the last decision.
I mean,
One person.
I don't know. I wouldn't say that it's okay. So some people are better at other things than other people, So like I wouldn't say that an overall like different power dynamic, like this person is the ruler and I'm just going to follow everything they say, is completely healthy. But I mean, sometimes people know like this is how like we should clean the house. So I'm going to take charge of the house cleaning and make sure that it looks like this, Yeah, exactly, Kristen. Different aspects of life, the power dynamic, it changed. Yeah. So yeah, different aspects of life, it just changes. So I mean, as long as you still feel like you're yourself, like completely in the relationship, like I think knowing what your partner is like good at and letting them take the reins and what they're good at, and that you taking the reins and what you're good at, and it just kind of working like that should be fine. I mean, it's not a healthy relationship if you're always depending on your partner to tell you how to live your life. That's not healthy. But if you go to your partner and you like to talk to them about like, oh, this happened at work, what should I do? And you trust their judgment, like in that kind of instance, then I don't know, like then I guess in a way they know logically more about how to handle a corporate environment than you do. So it just really depends on like the situation.
So it depends is the overarching answer.
Yeah, as long as it's healthy, as long as you both feel like, as long as it's not like a toxic, like you can't do this, this, and this type of thing. I mean, obviously in a relationship there are boundaries as far as like cheating and stuff like that. But I mean, like,
what?
You can't watch fucking anime, like
what?
Like,
who in the hell would do that as a grown man? Who would say there's niggas out there that say that?
Yeah,
Anime.
Yes. I mean, yeah.
Get out of here. Is you serious?
Yeah, there's people out there that want to
I'm sorry.
control other people to that extent. As like anime is a terrible example, but you know what I'm trying to say. Like,
I
what?
just couldn't believe if somebody would tell a whole grown person what they can't do.
Exactly. Yes. Yeah.
Why can't I cheat?
What?
Okay. All right. Hold on to everything else.
point.
One quick second, guys. Mr. Hall of Fame, I see you back there. I want to get through the entire panel first, and I'll pull you up to the panel, and then you can say what you want. Shout out channel, and then we'll be good. Elmer, next person up. Is power
Okay.
dynamic healthy in a relationship? Should there be a power dynamic?
Well, yeah. Well, the problem with me is that I like a girl that will just beat the shit out of me. You know. So, what tends to happen is that that I get like a really strong, very smart, very independent woman, and like you gotta like that. What tends to happen is, and if I just let it happen naturally, because I feel like I'm almost too passive. What tends to happen is I go and the dynamic tends to switch with me.
Even my wife was like, "What the? What?" Chris is saying, "Wait, what?" You got the women acting up, boy.
No.
You got me
Hold
over here
on,
like,
hold on. No.
What I
We're
do.
not gonna sway his idea. We're not gonna sway what he's thinking. Elmer,
yeah, go ahead, Elmer, go
Please,
ahead. I'm
let me
sorry.
talk.
Go
Let me
go
talk,
ahead.
John.
you got Sophie, you got Sophie cracking up, by the way.
Yo, Sophie's my girl. So, what was I saying? So yeah, so like how I feel about it is,
She
so
needs a strong woman that can put you in your place.
not really put me in my place, but we put each other in each other's places, I guess. Like what tends to happen is, I feel like what would happen is that it's like a constant fight, and maybe that's just from my toxic growing up. But that's what feels most comfortable to me.
I love having you on the panel, man, bro. You're good. You're priest. Let me hear what you're saying. What are we talking about?
So I'm just gonna before I actually like answer the question, I did want to say that I remember learning about this when I was back in high school, and my teacher explained a power dynamic to me in a way that it's like the ability to influence someone to like stay on track. That is how I thought what a power dynamic was. But now that
That's
I'm,
right.
like where like well aware of a power dynamic, but I say yes. It's you said, is it healthy, right? Or is it?
Is it healthy? Is it healthy?
Yeah. So yes, I believe it's healthy because it's order, it's balance. There will always be a dominant person, just like a president, a vice president. There'll always be a dominant person in a team. There'll always be a dominant person of a company, a CEO. There's always be that person that has like that kind of like has that final
The last word, the
answer.
final say.
Kind of like the final say. I do believe it's healthy. I do believe like it's order and it's balance, especially in a man and woman. Can I say heterosexual relationship? Well, even in a homosexual, even in a homo, because nowadays, like literally, you can't say anything. I do not want to get your
Yes, you
channel. I literally was like on pause from YouTube. From Instagram. Yeah. I'm so sorry. So, but like I know in like a homosexual relationship, even there has to be some type of like dominant person. So yeah, I believe that it is healthy and it is needed. It's balance and order is needed.
Okay. Well said. The kids agree. Chris. What are you saying, Chris?
Yeah, I totally agree. I think it's necessary. I think where the disconnect is that people think when they hear power dynamic, they automatically think that two people, that somebody's like worth more than the other, and that's what creates the power dynamic. In a relationship, you're both equally worthy. You have that role, you earn that role. But yeah, I totally agree. It's definitely necessary to have order. It's definitely necessary to have someone who's like, for example, John's example of the team. I see it more so as there's a coach, and for a Christian, that's God, and then there's a captain, that's the man, and then there's a team, and that's the woman. Okay, and then basically what happens is the captain looks and says, okay, this is my team, this is our strengths. Let me guide them based on our strengths currently. But he's always in line with the coach, and the team isn't going to really listen to the captain if he's not in line with the coach. And so it's very important to kind of have that
Mm-hmm.
that structure.
Yeah.
You gotta have it.
Can I ask a question, Clem?
Uh-oh.
Real quick, I would just want to bring up Mr. Hall of Fame. How you doing?
Doing good, doing good. Good to see all y'all. How y'all doing?
Pretty good. How about yourself, man?
Doing good, man. You know,
All right.
relaxing
Good,
and chilling as usual.
That's
Yeah.
nice. I hope you're enjoying the panel.
Oh yeah, most definitely.
Everyone here has got some pretty unique views. So
Yeah, I see that. I see that.
But what are you saying, man? What are we talking here?
I would say yes. The man has to be the lead in the relationship. You know, no doubt about it. It's not
Power
even.
dynamic needs to be the man at the head.
He has to be the head. Because if you're not gonna be a man, somebody else can be a man for you, and that's just really the bottom line. You know what I'm saying? So, you know, if you're being weak, you know, if you're being, you know, you letting your wife boss you around, and you know, she run a house, and it's her way or the highway. Happy wife, happy life. You do all that stuff. I'm telling you, she's gonna be creeping. She's gonna be doing a whole bunch of stuff behind your back because you're being weak, and you deserve that because you're being weak. You know what I'm saying? So, if you don't want it to happen to you, you know what I mean? Be assertive, be a man, be in your masculine energy. You know what I'm saying? Maintain your masculine energy. Don't abuse your masculine energy because you got to understand that you do need this woman as well. If she's acting like a woman, treat her like a woman. You know what I'm saying? And allow her to be in her feminine energy. There's nothing more beautiful than a woman who's in her feminine energy. There's nothing more beautiful than that. You know what I'm saying? You know, when she's being able to be a woman, when she's able to be submissive, she's able to be in her role, she's able to do what she needs to do in the household, be able to do what she needs in the household, there's nothing better than that. There's nothing better than that because you're both respecting and loving each other. And that's what really it's about. Because both want respect and love. Make no doubt about it. You know what I mean? A woman wants respect and love, a man wants respect and love. They both want it. But our roles are different. And you have to understand it. As a man, you can't be afraid to lead. And as a woman, don't be afraid to be submissive. Be in your feminine energy. It's a beautiful thing. You'll feel great. You'll feel a lot more secure. You know, allowing that man just to be there to lead you and protect you. Oh, it's a wonderful thing. It's a beautiful life when you really let it happen the right way.
Can I ask you a question?
Yes, sir.
Do you think a masculine man is needed for a woman's feminine energy to exist?
No, she can exist that on her own. She got that on her own. If she's single, she has to embrace it on her own. That's how she becomes a woman. She has to, just like a man is on the journey to becoming a man. You know what I mean? Just like when you're a boy, you become from a boy to a teenager, from a teenager you're going to a man. So it's stages. It's levels to it, and it's the same thing for women. It's the same thing. She's a girl, then she's a teenager, then she becomes a woman. You know what I mean? So there's levels to it, and each one has to take responsibility for their own level. So men got to take responsibility for where they're at in life, and women got to take responsibility for where they're at in life. Both have to do that. You know what I'm saying? It's not that person's job to fix you if you're toxic, whether you're a man or a woman. They can't fix you. You gotta take responsibility and do that on your own.
Okay, so I saw a couple of people's faces twisting up a little bit. We'll start with you, Sam. You were the original face twister.
Well, I mean, I can definitely respect that opinion as far as expect like some people have that expectation of I guess men being like the dominant and just women being submissive and just following along. I personally can't say that I would ever consider myself a submissive woman to a man like that. So it's just kind of like I think it's more about like the words that are being said rather than like the actual definition of what's going on.
Yeah,
Because like
submissive get everybody.
the power.
Submission is
Power.
usually what is the word that.
what?
It's like a bad word.
That word submissive, it locks down everybody. It triggers every woman that's ever been on this panel completely.
Okay, well, I'm glad to know that I fall into the realm of.
John, doesn't that mean that there's something wrong with it if no girl likes it?
I just
No, I like it.
I mean, yeah,
Ooh, what's up?
okay, but so just throwing in a different type of girl's perspective, I mean, submission, I mean, it has to come from a place of respect and trust.
Bam.
And yeah. And like, I don't know, at the same time, it really just depends on the situations. But I would like to be in a healthy relationship in which it's more an equity of power rather than this person is the dominant and frame this. Like we make
That's
decisions.
when we're gonna argue. That's where we'll disagree right there. We ain't gonna have no equity of power.
Can I
Because
say
I can stop a
something?
burglar,
I'm sorry.
can you?
Oh,
I can
okay. So you're
stone cold
talking
stop
about
one. We're not gonna be no equity because when we're talking about equity, we're gonna split everything 50-50.
you want to talk because you're
You gotta
talking
change
about
the oil.
you're talking about something physical. Obviously, like in most cases, a woman physically cannot defend herself against someone bigger than her that has a weapon.
Right?
But like in other situations, like when it comes to mental situations or maybe even emotional situations with children, like obviously a man isn't always going to know how to. Sorry, I'm reading that. A man isn't always going to know how to handle those types of situations as well. So it's not like, hey, like my kid is crying because her boyfriend broke up with her. Like,
Right.
let me go to my man and have him tell me exactly what I should say to this kid. Make
Now-
sure that it works out. You know,
I
But
guess,
you might have to.
but that
yeah, you might have to,
I
but
have a
you
question,
don't
though.
always have to.
Hold on, Elmer. Give me 1 second. Japrice, you wanted to say something?
So, to Sam, your name, right? So, pretty much you think that submissiveness is like you are only submissive conditionally. Like you said, you don't see yourself being submissive to if you do like have a relationship, the man in your life, like your partner. You said you don't see yourself being submissive.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say I wouldn't equate it to being submissive. If that makes
So what if the guy in your relationship said that he doesn't see himself being masculine to you? So only on Saturdays and Sundays he's gonna dress like a man, but Monday through Friday he's gonna dress like a woman. He's gonna be like, "Hey, girl."
How often does that happen?
Sometimes,
I mean,
How often
sometimes he's
does that
gonna be
happen?
masculine.
so this is
Like,
to
how-
you.
why would you bring up such a rare point that never
Nah,
happens
because
to
That's
anybody
he's
else?
here's the
making
thing,
a
though.
bigger point.
That's
You know,
how it
it's not
sounds.
like that.
Hold on,
He's
that's how it sounds to a man when you say that I'm only going to be like I'm only submissive to a certain point, or I don't see myself being submissive. That's how it sounds.
It doesn't have to be. It doesn't have to be physical. It has to be like a
There's a lot of
reactionary thing or a mental thing.
yeah.
There's like very subtle lines to femininity and masculinity. Like it doesn't have to be that she's just gonna put a do rag on and just like start playing basketball. You know,
Yeah,
like
and
it's a very subtle line with it.
what's the problem with that? In all honesty, like I don't have a problem with a man that wants to dress like a woman, like 5 days out of the week. And
Thank you.
Like like times are changing now, and like a lot of people
So you will be in a relationship with a man who dresses like a woman. Is what you're saying?
Yeah, and I've
Why
seen
is he dressing like a woman?
because the clothing of a woman is determined, like
Yeah.
feminine clothing is determined by our society anyway.
It
But-
is.
Yeah, like I don't know if you remember, if like back in the day, or like hundreds of years ago, guys would be wearing freaking petticoats with wigs, makeup all
Yeah.
powdered up and shit.
Scottish people wear skirts.
European men dress like that. You're right.
What?
European men dress like that. You're
Yeah,
right.
exactly. I mean, it's different across cultures. It's different across time periods. So, I mean, that's like a whole different, like, I don't know, a whole different thing to even dive into.
So
No. See, what I was saying was that's how it, not like literally, but that's how it sounds to a man. Like when you say, I don't see myself being submissive, because I think that we are losing, like when we think of the word submissive, we're thinking about control, and we're just
power.
one way out of this word, and it's not even like what
Just like what she just said
people
right here.
think it is now.
Exactly. It's not about like control.
Submission is a choice. You choose who you would like to submit, who you want to follow,
Exactly.
who you would trust to make the decision, who you would actually trust to have you sleep in the passenger seat while they drive the car to a long destination.
All
that
yeah,
both you
all
guys
of that
want.
comes with.
Wait, so let me
leadership
ask you.
skills.
Let me ask you something, Clem. Like, if you're in the passenger seat and they're driving over a cliff, like you don't grab over the wheel, or like you don't like jump out of the car.
Well,
Like,
that's
I mean,
the question that I'm trying to ask is, like, when you know better than him, do you have to think about the power dynamic and adjust yourself around that, or
Oh
can
my-
you just say what you mean, or say
Yeah,
what
you say
the right
something.
thing is to them?
yes,
Because
you say something.
You
Because
say
then-
something.
Because the problem with that is that you now have to, instead of actually telling him what the right answer is, you have to consider the power dynamic to make him feel like he's in control still. Like, doesn't that elongate the problem? Doesn't that
Well, y'all propaganda done ruined your generation, bro. Their propaganda that these different special interest groups, they have completely removed y'all from what's natural and thinking that this shit that is not natural is actually needed in life. Because
Yeah.
what you just said has no bearing on that. No, absolutely. You say something. A woman, let's get biblical since we talk about all this other shit, men dressing like women, we're going to talk about Christ. She's a helpmeet. That means that she helps meet your needs. If your ass is falling asleep, she needs to hit you and say, wake up, baby, I'm gonna drive because you too tired. Pull over right here. You see that? And the Bible says submit one to another. It does not say woman submit to the man. It says
Right.
man and woman submit one to each other.
One
And
to
the
each other.
easiest way I've always done this, even in my relationship and how I handle it. My wife is on here. She said that, and at the end, I'll have the final say. But we talk about every damn thing, and things that she's good at, she's in charge of that. I help.
Yeah.
Things that I'm good at, I'm in charge of it. She sit back because that's my expert thing. I was in sales for a long time. You're not buying the car. You don't know nowhere. I don't care what you read on the internet. I don't care what your daddy told you. I don't care. I was in that business for 14 years. I'm buying all the cars. Point blank, period. That's the way that it works. I know the whole thing. Now, when I want to buy land in the country where she is, I don't even speak the damn language that good. So guess who's going to negotiate? She is. She's going to negotiate. She's going to translate why I'm still going to be there because I'm a better negotiator. There's tricks to negotiation that I know she don't know. So we're going to really collaborate on this particular play.
Yeah.
Look at it like it's like Kristen said. Look at it like it's a team. Teamwork make the dream work.
So where is the this?
Hold on now, man. Give me 1 second.
My bad.
Mr. Hall of Fame, do you want to say any last words? Then I want to pull up the next person up.
Most definitely. So not to just correct.
You opened up a pretty heated conversation, so thank you for
Oh,
that.
of course. No problem. Anytime, anything to get the room going, get the panel going. But yeah, just to kind of piggyback off of what John was saying, the Bible does tell women to submit to their husband. It does say that, but in that, here's the thing. This is what we have to keep in mind. Okay, a man has to earn the right for a woman to be submissive. He has to earn that right. She has to earn that right to be led. She got to earn that right. If you haven't earned the right to lead, you haven't earned the right, for submission, then it shouldn't happen. Make that person earn that right, whoever you are, whether you're a man or a woman. They have to earn the right for you to be in a role. And you have to earn that right to be looked at in that role, or to even have them do their role. You know what I'm saying? So that's what it's about. And I'm going to shout out my channel real quick. It's knowledge.
Hold on. I have a procedure, man.
Go ahead.
Go
ahead.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you so much. Thank you for the spotlight. I appreciate it.
Go for it.
I want to shout out my channel real quick. It is Knowledge and Relationships with me and the Great M3. You can catch me on MR Hall of Fame Forever 23 on Instagram. Once again, MR Hall of Fame Forever 23 on Instagram. I appreciate all y'all. Thank you so much. Y'all have a great day. Be blessed.
Thanks for coming up. All right, and now we're gonna pull up his partner in crime. M3, how you doing?
Pretty good. So I'll make sure you guys are able to hear me well.
Yeah, you sound pretty good. What's going on, man? What are you talking? What we saying?
Okay. All right. So I just have a question for Elmer. How you doing, Elmer, and everyone else? Elmer, Do you believe that? What's your thoughts like as far as like being like the head of the household? Do you feel like women should lead, or do you feel like men should solely lead?
Well, I guess it's what, and like this is the. I think this is why it's important to have the definition, like people have defined it, because John actually like if my philosophy is close to anything, it's probably closest to what John believes in that we submit to each other. So I would say that whatever I'm good at, she'll submit to me in that, and whatever she's good at, I'll submit to her in that. It's
Well, I mean, but personally, what do you believe?
that's
I don't, because yeah, you're saying about what John believes, but what do you
yeah.
believe wholeheartedly?
Well, personally, like that's what I believe in. I like John's explanation. I think most people will agree with John, and that's the difference between what John's saying and what, for example, Knowledge in Relationships is saying. Like it, what you hear a lot, especially online and with like people like Kev Samuels and all the people like that, is that the woman has to submit to the man. Absolutely, and what John said is like more of a nuance, even though it's Bible, even though it's funny that it's Bible, but it's more of a thing that is more equal, more 50-50. So what I'm not even saying that people like Kev Samuels and Knowledge and Relationships is wrong. I'm saying that how they're defining it is making women feel like they're not equal in the relationship. But how John put it was way on point, and I agree with that 100%.
Yeah, because
So
you still gonna have it depends on what each person brings to the table. Like if you got a girl who don't really, let's say you got a girl
Hmm.
who's 9 years your junior, she's pretty much gonna be submissive to just about everything if she don't have no life experience. Like if
Right.
she just don't know anything, you know everything. Like that's her thing. But if you got a woman who's 9 years your junior and she's experiencing a lot, she's got leadership skills, she's got management skills. There are
Yeah.
some things that she's just better than you at. You
Right.
can't just
Hmm.
lead yourself to the like you can't be like I'm the man, I'm in charge to a fault. You can't do
Yeah.
that because that's how you make bad decisions when you should have been dependent. I think I used this example, but it was after hours when nobody else listening. It was another female on here that trades like I do, and I was like, if well, I gave it an example because that this word right here, I was like, so in that situation, if that was my wife, right? I would
Hmm.
go to her and ask her before I put trades on because she had 14 years of experience over me. She's been doing this, she's licensed at it. I would be
Hmm.
stupid not to use my resources. I got a whole wife who knows how to do the shit that I've gotten into. Yeah, I taught myself, but I promise
Yeah.
you there are some things she's sitting back. This is the house's money. Like her money
Yeah.
came in here too. I'm not finna run through this. Boo, what you think about this? It was like, well, did you check this? You know what? I didn't check that. Well, why don't you check this? It's not like she took some power away from you. You just using your wife. She's helping to meet.
Yeah.
Yeah.
She's helping you. She's helping to meet. And that gives her what?
Yeah.
You have to
Being,
give
being,
her
you
a
playing her
task.
role.
Yeah.
Right. You have to give her a task. Like when you're a leader, you have to assign like I was in the military. And when I was a squad leader, I would assign my squad positions based on what they were good at. Like if
Okay.
these guys, like I had some people, one guy, he was good at a lot of the physical things, but he was a drunk. Like I knew he drank a lot. So I would always make him have fire watch the very first shift because that was just safe for everybody. I was trying
Yeah.
to look out for him because the very first shift is early in the evening, he'll be awake.
Yeah.
But I wasn't gonna try to push no paper on him because he wouldn't show up to duty on drunk. But I don't know. I just know he drank a lot and I'm not taking no chances. I'm not putting him at 3 o'clock in the morning because he might then got him hope to some, and this is not a good thing.
Hmm.
And so forth and so on. I had other members of the squads that were better at other things, better at communicating, better at calling in fire. So I would put them in charge of that. And
So
when you're the
you're
leader of the
saying that
house,
there needs to
Okay.
be a
then you
lead.
assign your wife these same positions.
Yeah.
You're saying that there needs to be a lead. Is that what you're
Yeah,
saying?
you leading the house. You're just assigning the roles, just like the head coach. I'm a quarterback. No, you're better at tailback. So now you're a
Yeah.
tailback.
So
This
Elmer,
is
do you
what
still
you're really, really
do you
good
still
at.
agree with that? 'Cause
Um,
I think you guys have a differing in views in that aspect.
I feel like we're like like this. We're like so close, and then we're like just so far. See,
Because
Well,
it
I
sounds
like-
like where you're not in alignment with what John is saying is that you're still believing that it's 50-50. That both
Yeah,
should be
bro,
taking
and it
that
just
foot
can't be like
forward
that.
at the same time.
It just can't be like that. Because if it was 50-50, bro, let me tell you something. People can push these propagandas and these agendas all you want to, but when I come on here, I like to come from a place of research and what the psychology is saying and what the experiment, what the research is saying.
Yeah.
And the research said out of 7,000 plus subjects on both sides, males and females, the women, according to personality, to the one, I'm not talking about them personality tests that you can take online. I'm talking about the ones where you have to go to a clinical psychologist and take that test. And all the women scored high in agreeableness and everything surrounded by nurturing and being that person who holds things together. Men was everything that had to do with protection. We lacked empathy. We lacked we lacked totally in agreeableness. Like we were aggressive. We were on that end. You understand? And we were not good organizers. We're not good organizers. Why you think when you dating, when you go to a dude's house, I promise you, if you was the first time, it's all neat and pretty. But then the next you come over there off kilter, off schedule, and it's shit everywhere. Because men come in, we throw shit down everywhere. That's what we do. And that's just how we are. We're not organized creatures. Do you know somebody that's organized? Absolutely. He had a mother, and his mother spent a lot of time with him, teaching him how to be organized, and she ingrained that in his head, right? So he's an organized person. Just because that's an anomaly. But if you looked across the whole spectrum, most men are not organized. That's why men and women make a perfect match. Because y'all are exactly what we're not, and we are exactly what y'all not, and that's okay.
Right.
There's nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, we all have like
things that they are better at.
Let him finish.
Yeah,
Just like what Sam was saying earlier, right? When you're talking to kids, she's damn hit that right on the head. Because a crying baby gets on my last damn nerve. Like, I don't want to hear it. It's like loud noise. I'm like a Rottweiler. Shit, now I get it. You know what I'm saying? But right, like here, go to your mama. And I would try my best until I started sweating. And I'm like, boo, come on, man, you ain't done yet. And I just don't have that kind of patience. And that's fine. She would be better at that than me. Cooking, I can cook. That don't mean nothing. I cook better than most women. I don't like to cook though. But so that means when I'm picking, I'm gonna pick a woman who likes to cook. Because I don't like to spend a lot of money either. So I'll pick somebody who likes to enjoy cooking. I don't believe in that whole you gonna do this, you're gonna be barefoot and pregnant every damn month. Every year you're gonna have a baby. You're never gonna work. Hell no, you're gonna work. You understand? But at the end of the day, I'm gonna have the final say. Like period, because we are not on equal grounds.
Right. So I guess it's not I don't really believe that it is 50-50. I guess that's like the misconstruction. What I think is
what society is teaching you, and they teaching you wrong. It's not 50-50.
No, I don't think,
well, that's
what I'm trying to say is, see, I like a girl with a strong, muscly back that can like pick me up and throw me across the room, and then I come back.
You want to be carried across
okay.
Yeah.
Are you kidding? Are you serious? Are you making a
No,
joke?
Elmer is joking.
Oh, okay.
Elmer is joking.
on wedding night.
I was like, I could hook you up some bodybuilders if you need some.
Yo, please. I gotta
Elmer
put in
Elmer wants to get carried across the threshold. I see.
I feel hey, some guys want to wear the dresser like in the family, so there ain't nothing wrong with that, according to Sam, right?
Exactly. Let me wear a kilt. So what I'm trying to say is like there's like there really isn't like a set number. Do you think that there is a set number? 80%, 20%, 70%, 30%, or is it that whatever your personality is and whatever her personality is, they just sync, and maybe it's like 70% her side, 30% his side on some things, and then it switches on other
your
things.
natural role.
Wait, hold on, John. Hold on, John. Well, see, Elmer, that's why I want to ask you personally, right? Well, about using John as the scapegoat, because you did mention that it's a 50-50 thing. And I was going to ask, right? Okay, well, if it's a 50-50, if that's what you believe, then why did in the beginning you say that women are the prize?
Because
Pulling back.
Because ultimately women are the ones that choose you.
No,
when
they're
you
not.
when you okay, well that's
Women-
the
No,
difference.
John,
Let him finish. Let him finish. Let him finish.
So the Olympics is on right now, and
Wait, what?
the Olympics. All right,
I think that ADD kicked in real quick on
Listen
that
to
one,
me.
but go ahead.
So the Olympics is on right now, and I bet Simone Biles would have loved to just grab that first place prize and put it around her neck and be like, I'm the first placer now. But what she get? She got third place. And she got third place because her merited that. And that's what men do with women. They tell us what place we're in. And they could make us first place, they can make us second place, and they can make us third place. But the place is the prize. And they decide that. They tell us what place we're in. So that's why women are the prize.
No, whoa,
Wait,
Reel him back in. Reel him back in.
Hold on. Like his opinion is valid. Let him finish. Yeah. Sorry, go ahead, Elmer. I'm very intrigued now to hear this stuff because. Go ahead.
So
are you done?
He can't wait. He's like, no. Okay, are you done? Are you done?
You done? I would say that it's not even a thing that society chose for us. I would say that that's how since we evolved from chimpanzees, women have always been the people that choose. And so there we go.
Let him finish.
Okay, hold on. Okay. I'm kind of confused because you're saying that we
with him.
Okay, so you're saying that men, we're the ones, right, that chooses women to be the prize. That's what you're saying, right?
No. Women are the prize by birth, and they tell us how to get them.
Well, women are the prize at birth, and they tell us how to get them.
Yes.
But don't we are the ones who upgrade their lifestyle? What woman could upgrade my lifestyle?
Yeah, that's true. But how do you upgrade your lifestyle? By the skills and qualities that they have put upon you to become. They
talking about a woman or a mother?
They make the rules for you.
I'm sorry.
Wait, okay.
They make rules. I got
a question. Elmer, so
Yes.
why would the woman choose you then? If they have to upgrade you after choosing you,
Yeah.
why wouldn't
If they gotta upgrade you, they ain't gonna choose you.
Yeah, they're not.
No.
They're pick someone who's already got it.
Right.
Yeah. Well, like it's not a really like personal thing. That's why I'm saying it's more. That's why I'm saying it's more biological. It's more evolutionary. They've already made the decision. They've already made the qualities. They've already made the rules. Now we just gotta live up to them. The rules are set in place already. That's why the rules never change. You need a guy that's confident. You need a guy that has a career.
Oh, I see where you're going with it. I see what you.
So
I got you.
So those things aren't. We didn't make them. If I made them, I'd be like every girl likes a guy who plays Call of Duty, and I'd be number one. You know what I'm saying? But we don't do that. The women choose the qualities that make us number one, and then they go, "Okay, I picked you." That's it, and that's the plain truth of it. And that's not something that they talk to each other about. That's something that's been going on from trial and error, since chimpanzees, since women have had the power to choose. That's why they're the prize, because they've made themselves a prize, and that's also why. And we're gonna disagree. That's why we've evolved so much because of that. That's why we've evolved faster than any other group of animals in the world.
I guess I came out as a handsome little monkey then, huh? But okay, so this is what I'm just gonna say, right? Women, they do choose, like, what guy do they choose, like, to fall in line with, but I can't agree with the one moment it's like 50-50 for men and women, but yeah, ultimately women are the prize. If that's the case, both will be the prize then.
Yeah.
But that's not how, like, the general society look at it as.
So there's another rank though. There's that one, and then there's one deeper behind that, and that's their
Okay.
ability to have kids and to extend your generational genes. So,
Yeah, but they can't have the kids unless we put the
All right,
sperm
all right.
in them.
Hold on, Tubi.
but they choose you to put the
Wait, hold
sperm
on,
in.
hold on, Elmer.
Sperm in them.
Hold on. Ladies, chime in.
Please chime in. Somebody put the man on the right track.
Chris.
Y'all just sitting over there, hush mouth.
Chris, we haven't heard you in a while. Go.
Chris is trying to take all this shit. Chris trying to take this shit in. She like, what is he talking about? I can't wait to meet Elmer, bro. I'm gonna bring you some weed up there from Alabama because you
going
never
out.
convinced me that you don't smoke weed.
We're going
You
out.
never
We're
get
going
me
out.
not to believe that.
We're gonna get lit up.
All right, go, Chris.
Can you ask me a question? I don't know. That was a lot.
There was a lot said. There was a lot that was said. And
That's how I talk. I'm sorry. I just think like this.
so
Do you have
essentially, women are the ultimate choosers. They choose exactly what is desirable in men. Is essentially what Elmer is saying. You agree? You disagree? Comments on it?
Women choose what's ultimately desirable in men. So, oh, man, I wish somebody else
You
could
don't
have gone
confuse the
first.
fucking
You
women.
want me-
bro.
I'll come back to you. How about
Can you
that?
come?
I'll-
Okay, I'm
What about
sorry.
what about
Thank you.
Sam?
Sam,
Sam,
yeah.
come on, man, set him straight. Come on now, bring it home for the team. Take one for the team. Come on,
I am so
Yeah,
confused.
can you bring me the little
confuse
phone
all of them.
It's
Yeah,
not just me.
yeah,
No.
no. I really don't know what to say because like we have gotten so. Thank you so much,
Okay.
Elmer, for sharing. I hear you. I hear what you say. You're saying things.
Things and words.
There's some
Expressions.
shit going on. I hear it. I
But
hear it.
what
So I
you're
don't know,
really thinking is
is what? Listen, man. I kind of hear what you're trying to say. You're trying to say that as females,
Good. That kid real good, huh?
Mm-hmm.
okay. Mike,
as females, we pick the qualities in a man that we want and go after them when we find them in a man that we want, is what you're
Yeah.
saying.
Right?
I forgot what's the point after that.
No, I'm not. That's the fact. I'm trying to make that a fact.
Oh,
That's the fact. I'm not even. This isn't even a discussion. That's
Oh.
Oh yeah, it's a discussion, but where they don't, I'm just waiting. He get around here to me, I'm gonna set you straight. I'm just waiting.
yeah,
I'm
I
just
know.
sitting back waiting.
I mean, like you're not wrong. I mean, like I guess like if we had to step back and talk about biology and be like, yeah, that's the person I want to procreate with. Look at their genes. Like maybe some people think like that.
Yeah,
Maybe
19.
No,
like I'm not saying that I do, but
I don't think most people think like that. But I think it's the base of all of our thoughts. That's like behind the back of our heads, and then just life and our experiences and our traumas and whatever else that goes on in our lives. It muddles that, but that's still in the back of our heads, or that's still the base of everything that we think about.
I guess.
At the end of
Fabrice,
the
you want
day,
to chime in on this?
yeah, she yeah. I need one of the women to say something, man, before I get going.
So your initial comment was women choose what they desire in a man. Like we have a base, like we make the base of what we're looking for, like the
Yeah.
foundation of what we're looking for.
Yeah,
He was waffling a lot, but essentially,
that's how I think. You know.
essentially he's saying that women choose what is desirable in men.
Right? Like
I
no,
think I
the
can
girls
tell.
aren't saying anything because they agree.
think
It's 100%.
No.
No, they're confused. The 100.
No, okay, so I wouldn't,
Okay, go ahead, Bree.
I wouldn't necessarily say that I agree because I could, and when I was like in my early 20s, I desired something that was so unnecessary, and then my stepfather like set me straight. He was like, "No, you don't need that. That's not
Yeah.
necessary, and this is
Yeah.
this is what you should be looking for." So I want to say that men kind of set it to what we should desire.
But where did he learn it from? He learned it from getting your mom.
No, he learned it from
No,
being a man. He learned it from his father.
His father.
Mhm.
He learned it from his dad.
Where did he learn it from?
His
You know what I'm
father.
saying? So we're
You
gonna
just said it.
we're gonna have
From
a
when?
we're gonna go all the way back to when we were monkeys.
We
and
were
then
never
ultimately-
monkeys.
It's not about like what's desirable, but it's about what works, and it's about like it's about what works, and it's about
Yeah,
like,
I'm saying,
like resources and all this
Yeah.
other desirable
Yeah.
stuff
and
doesn't really matter.
that's already been established through years of evolution, and then ultimately what we're doing now and how we choose partners now has been a result of evolutionary process of choosing the person to procreate with and have future generations of human beings. And what I'm saying is that women, and this is what distincts us from the rest of this animal species, is that women have become the people in control of that decision of who to procreate with.
Okay. Am I about to say something?
As far
Am
as
I about to say
today,
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
M3, go ahead.
Yeah. Okay, so we all know that women are the gatekeepers of sex. But women, ultimately, what are you ladies are looking for at the end of it all? You guys know? Because I have the answer for it, but I just want to, Chris, ultimately, what do women are looking for a man?
I want to be
Security.
masculine. Protection, provision. Is that what you're asking?
Yep.
Well, I was going to say, yeah. Well, I was going to say ultimately like marriage, relationships.
Oh, okay. Like commitment, stability.
Yeah. Ultimately, women desire to be in a relationship. They want to be married. They want to have kids. But we are the ones that control that. Like I said before, women are the gatekeepers of sex. We'll give them that. But men are the ones, right, that will say yay or nay when it comes to relationships.
Yep.
And that's the most desirable for what a woman are looking for.
Exactly. And you learn that from your dad. You learn that from watching a good leader.
Yeah.
So here's
But why wouldn't every man want to just have sex? Why did the distinction come between just having sex and wanting to be in a relationship? Did women tell a man that the most desirable thing is to be a relationship man? That's what I'm saying. I'm saying
that's something that listen. That right there, that whole relationship thing. Listen, animals is what we are. I don't care. We're just not in the same subspecies. We have different subspecies than other animals, but we are still in kingdom Animalia. We're still mammals. You understand? We are instinctively designed to mate. The relationship comes from a place of church. It comes from a place of societal controls to make the shit organized because we're also sociable.
Who created that?
In a society.
Who created
that's where that come from?
Who created that? Men or
the
women?
Church.
Man or woman?
Men.
God.
Men. We used to have multiple wives, bro.
Why do women want that? Then why do women want that and men don't?
It's protection. We are protection. If you bring it back in time before,
why did that? Why hasn't that?
Wait. Hold on. If you bring it back before we were as civilized as we are now,
right?
A woman needed a man to survive.
So she chose. So she said, "This is what I need," and you go.
No, it wasn't more of a choice. It was more of like I need a man.
Yeah.
It wasn't like I'm gonna let's see. I'm gonna go to the man store today and see which one I could find. Like, no, it was kind of like the nearest man I need to be next to because that is survival.
So she flirts with him. And
that's how it starts. That's how it starts as the nearest man.
But a man wants.
How did it evolve from I just need a man, the nearest man, to now I need a man who's smart. I need a man who's attentive. I need a man who's emotional. I need a man who has a job. I need a man who has
survival instinct.
Who did that?
They need to survive.
But the women chose it. But they did it. But they made the rules,
bro. The woman don't choose ever. She don't choose.
Yeah.
A man goes to the store, buys a ring. He asks her to be with him forever. She don't do that. A woman does not come up to a bar, see a man, go up to him. I know I got a homegirl that does that. Okay, good for your homegirl. Goddamn, if you ask most of the majority of the women, they're gonna say, hell no, I don't chase no man. I don't chase no man. I don't chase no man.
Who wants
You know what I think?
You're going to a jewelry store and going, this is what I want to do. Or you're going, this is what I know she wants me to do.
Wait, Elmer. Wait.
Hold on.
When I want to get married,
are you asking that you're only gonna marry because she wants to get married? Is that what you're asking, Homer?
I'm saying and this is why it gets so confusing, because it's like
your society is confusing.
It's like deep. Mm-hmm. It's like mad deep. What? So you're saying that women want the relationship?
No, answer that question first.
What
you're saying that you would only your reason for marrying is because she wants to get married?
I'm saying that yes, as a population, as a species, yes. Not me personally. No. I'm saying that the whole process of marriage was the woman saying, I need you to stay here. I need just you.
So why don't men just marry the nearest woman? Why doesn't a man just marry the nearest woman that's next to him?
Because the nearest woman won't
men are choosing the genetics that they
want
to pair with theirs to pass along.
The woman will choose you.
We choose the genetics.
Oh my God! Now I got another question to ask.
You can manipulate a woman to choose you, man. What are you talking about,
exactly.
bro?
Wait. Okay. Wait.
That's what's been going on, and that's why you got so many.
Wait, John.
That's why you got so many shitty relationships.
Hold on. Elmer, are you in a relationship right now? I just want to ask you.
No, I'm not.
Okay.
Can I ask a question really quick?
Go ahead.
Elmer, were you raised with your mother and father?
I was, yeah.
Like they were married?
They are, yeah.
They are, and they're still like all the way up until your adolescent. Yeah. Oh, okay. Something else.
I think there was a point about to be proved there, but
yeah.
Your parents being married was disproven. All right, M3.
I think that there's gonna be between like this whole group of between everybody, there's gonna be who started it, the man or the woman. That's like
having the argument what came first.
Your father doesn't talk to you about. Your father doesn't talk to you about like relationships and marriage and stuff like that.
He does.
Do you listen?
I listen.
And what does he say?
What does he say?
I mean, he says, get smart, get cool, and find a girl you like.
Oh, he told you to find a girl you like, right?
Find a girl.
He just told you to choose, to pick.
Yeah. I'm not saying that we don't go after girls we like. I'm saying ultimately the girls that we like have to choose us if we want to do anything.
Okay, I see. It's kind of like a man's kind of like an employer. Okay. Women apply for the job and they say, hey, I like this employer. Pick me. I am qualified. And the man goes, all right, all of you have chosen me, but now I have to choose between all of you, because he's a highly desired employer who's going to offer the best benefits. And with the evolution, what you're talking about, I understand what you're saying, where women have certain desires and men want to fit into those desires because they want the women. But what's actually happening is it's a give and take. Okay, so a man naturally wants to be a provider. He naturally wants to be a protector, like John was saying. Women typically naturally want to be feminine. They naturally want to be submissive. They want to be protected because they know that they're vulnerable. Okay, but there are certain things that men have to do in order for a woman to feel safe under his protection. Right. And so they kind of work together. And so a man pulls out the feminine woman, the woman pulls out the masculine men. They work together. So no one person is necessarily setting the rules. Right. It's just they both know what they want and what they need to raise a healthy family. And when the dynamic is ideal, when factors are ideal, it works.
Yeah. You know what? I like that more. So you changed me. I'm on your side now.
Just like that.
Man, you
Just like-
pulled all these teeth this whole time, and you switched over as soon as you opened up. Hey, mute Elmer permanently, bro. Like, really. And you don't go nowhere after the show, buddy.
Feminine works.
No, I'm playing.
I love Elmer. I swear to God. Elmer make you ready to pull your hair out, boy.
Elmer was fun debating with you guys, man. Yeah.
Any closing comments?
You know, I had something to say, but then it's like after all this like riffraff, man, I can't remember. I can't remember what's the next question. You know, I'm sorry, y'all.
That's how we do it here, man. That's how we do it here.
Yeah.
But
yeah. Before I leave, if you don't mind me shouting out my YouTube channel.
Of course.
Okay.
Shout out to the channel, bro. Appreciate you hopping on.
No problem, man. I'm glad I was able to talk to you guys.
Yeah.
Anyways, you know, I am the founder of Knowledge and Relationships on YouTube. We stream on Monday and Thursday nights. Oh, and also Saturday nights for the ladies live stream. Mostly on 5:30 Pacific time. This Thursday, however, we will be doing a live interview at 7 o'clock for someone. So please stay tuned to that. But other than that, search us up on YouTube, Knowledge and Relationships. Subscribe to our channel. Feel free to give us a like and comment, and hopefully, we'll get a chance to connect again. So,
awesome. Thanks for coming on.
All right. And always make sure you guys get your minds right, especially you, Elmer. You need it. But all right, you guys.
Take care. Man.
Elmer got me over here chain smoking.
Okay.
Stressed.
I swear. I'm like,
so
what?
I want to do a quick reaction video.
Let's do it.
So,
I like these reaction videos.
I think this might be a good one. I think you guys might like this one. All right. So
Sam, you having fun?
Yeah, this is a lot of fun. I like.
Dupree, you having fun?
So if you guys do me a favor and mute your mics. And
I agree with that. Okay. Do you believe that being in love requires you to be vulnerable?
100%.
Okay. How can you become vulnerable without getting taken advantage of?
I think there's a fine line between taking advantage of someone and loving them. I think it's a hard thing, and losing yourself in love. But I mean, I'm only 19. I haven't quite figured that out yet. So let's ask the 22-year-old.
You do become vulnerable when you fall in love, but you just gotta take the risk of being taken advantage of and be confident that in yourself, in who you are, and your identity. But love sucks. Let's get that straight.
Okay. And also, by the way, have either of you guys ever had your hearts broken before?
Oh,
yes.
Yeah, 100%. Right now, bro. Right now. Not doing well.
And have either of you ever unfairly punished a potential suitor based on previous bad experiences?
Not personally.
Definitely.
So what advice would you give to somebody who maybe is like kind of had some bad experiences and, maybe wants to learn how they can trust somebody again and make themselves vulnerable?
I don't know how to trust anybody again.
I mean, so far, I think it would be to just not let it go, but let it go. And each person's different, and try. And if it doesn't work out, you're you. Be
just
free.
Live your life. And if it happens, it happens.
If I was with a man that never beat on me, and then I was with a man that beat on me, I wasn't scared until a motherfucker was beating on me. You know what I'm saying? So it's just like the things that we go through and the situations that we're in that make us. But y'all, we have to prevail. I don't know what y'all race is. I don't know what your religion is, but you have to prevail, believe in God or whatever you believe in. You know what I'm saying? And we're going to make it through. You need to just not be vulnerable to everybody and pick up on those red flags and stop trying to ignore them and stop trying to make people what you want to make them into, because you already know that's not who they are.
What percentage of modern women are marriage material?
Let me be honest. It's not very many. You know why? Women are in tune to their body. They're not in tune with running a household. They're in tune to social media. They're not in tune with the needs of their significant other or their kids. That, I'm just gonna be honest. The women really is like, fuck men. It's all about me. And I don't know if it comes from the fucked up experience that they've had, or
We're enough. It's enough.
I mean, I don't know.
Okay, wait. Let me just. Wait. Okay.
Okay, that was fun. So that what do you guys think of that? What do you guys think of that? Let's start with the two ladies, the ones that were talking about coming out of relationships and trusting again. Japrice.
So I know one of the questions was like, and being vulnerable. You're talking about that first part.
What did you think of the whole video? Let's just say that. Let me ask.
Okay, so the first part when the gentleman asked the two ladies, how do you be vulnerable and not able to get your heart broken or something like that? I would say that's boundaries. You have boundaries, and that's how you that's how you not let someone cross that line with you, at least like more than once. And then I believe the second part of the video, the young lady was I'm saying young lady like I'm just old. The lady was correct. But like the first part where she was like, I have love and all that stuff. But yeah, I do agree with the second set of ladies. I do agree with her on that. And the first, yeah. So.
Okay, Chris.
I agree. Setting boundaries is important. I've also been wondering, sorry, I pull my words together. So when they were talking about being vulnerable and not being able to trust again, it was reminding me of Kevin Samuels, and he talks about how women are so scared and how they fear marriage, they fear relationships because of possibly getting hurt. And what was sticking out to me was, I feel like one thing that we can try to do differently as women is try to talk to older women about their experiences to understand what the red flags are, so we don't go through life, getting beat down like that, to where you build up all these walls and now we're afraid of everything. We still need the life experiences, but maybe it would be helpful if we gain those from those who are wise, who can give us the advice, so we don't have to deal with, feeling like we can never trust again, feeling like we can't be vulnerable. If we could just avoid those situations, like Japrice was saying from the beginning, setting the boundaries, knowing what your boundaries are, instead of having to go through the experiences and learn them over time and having to basically being like infected with all of these bad experiences.
Okay. Sam, what do you think of the video?
I definitely think it was interesting. I can say that it's completely impossible to know what another person is going to do in your life. So yes, like, it's good to be vulnerable. It's good to know like your own truth, but sometimes people can really just be unpredictable and can really like mess you up. So yeah, there's red flags.
She read my mind, boy. She read my mind. Go ahead.
Me? I read.
Yeah, you read my mind, because I was thinking. I was thinking everything you saying. I was thinking about it, and I was gonna say, I don't know. You finish up, and then when it come around to me, I'll piggyback off of what you said.
Yeah, there's red flags that are just obvious, like, oh hell no, that's not gonna work with me. But at the same time, like, some people can be like Elmer and have like literal skeletons in their closet. I'm just kidding, Elmer. I'm just picking on you. But because you were like talking about murdering earlier, so I'm just
told you.
I'm just kidding. Sorry. But yeah, it's hard to really determine what another person has, like, completely as a person. But I feel like the first set of ladies and the second set of ladies kind of went hand in hand, in which, like, yeah, you got to be vulnerable in order to get your heart broken, but at the same time, like, you move on from those experiences by continuing to learn more about yourself and being more in touch with who you are as a person and growing from that. And that's coming from my own personal experience of being in an abusive relationship for 3 years. Like, I never would have thought, with the kind of education I have, with the kind of personality I have, that I would experience the type of mental, emotional, and physical trauma that I went through with that person, but it happened. And, you just, like, since then, like, I've just continued to, like, learn more about myself and grow from that. And it hasn't made me want to shut people out of my life. In fact, it made me want to be more of myself, so that people that don't like me for who I am can just go ahead and just keep walking out, like, just go out the door, But yeah, that's just my thoughts about those videos. I like videos like that because, like, you get to hear other people's perspectives about certain things, but at the same time, you realize, it's like your own validation about how you feel.
It reassures your own personal beliefs.
Exactly. Yeah.
John?
All right, so before I forget, because I'm old, I'll forget. All right, so what she was saying about the red flags and stuff like that. Chris said this earlier, but you'll do it when you're older. I promise you will. When you start having some failed relationships and you go through some introspection, why are you attracting these type people? And you spend some time with yourself and you learn who you are and you really redefine what it exactly is that's going to help, like when you go through these failed relationships and you really understand what it really takes for someone to get along with you and you to get along with them and what's going to make that work, then you'll start paying attention to the subtle flags. Stop listening to what somebody's telling you and start watching what they're doing and see if those two line up. And then get regrounded in your Bible. That's who created us. I don't care if you don't believe it, that's fine. I've got enough proof and evidence for myself. It tells you exactly how to pick. It warns you about trying to be with somebody you're not equally yoked with. What does that mean? That means it's somebody who does not see eye to eye with you. Period. Two people who are unequally yoked cannot walk together. No matter how much you want to try to force it, change them, rewire them, they just don't work. They don't work at all, right? So when you get that in your life, then now you go and you know what to look for. You know what to pay attention to. Dates are really different at this point. Now you watch more of what she says if you're a man, and you watch more of what he says and does if you're a woman, and you watch more of what she says and does if she's a man. You listen, then you watch. Dude, is what she's saying, how she behaving, because behaviors, and I've said this on previous podcasts, behaviors tell you about this person way more than you know, because a group of behaviors have a group of subset of behaviors that will also come along with that. You can tell if a guy is abusive. Watch his reactionary. Disagree with him on something early. See what happens. See how he responds. Do you hear an inflection in his voice? Is he aggressive a little bit? Like, was he doing the most? Don't just listen to what came out of his mouth, because then he'll say, "Oh, I had a bad day. It wasn't you." Da 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 da. No, this man can potentially will put his hands on you, and he'll be like, "Nah, you don't know that just by." Yeah, I do know that. Yeah, because that tells me that the way he reacts is too much. The way he reacts is like, why is he reacting like that? Have you talked to any of his other girlfriends? Has he ever been arrested for domestic violence? Has he ever been convicted of domestic violence? That starts bringing you start asking the right questions at that point. As far as the video, the second group of women, she hit it right on the head, boy. She hit it right on the head. A lot of the modern women are more into themselves, and they're not really interested in doing all that other stuff. They're really not. And the first group of women, at least the one was she, she don't think she can ever love again. She's just freshly broken up. but you have to become vulnerable. Because see, if you're not vulnerable, then how do you know? How do you know? How can you match the behaviors if you never allow them to happen? You gotta like be safe with it, but you got to be vulnerable so you can know the truth. You got to. You can't just have walls up the whole time. You're never gonna know. You could miss out or you could avoid.
That's good, man. That was good. Elmer, we're gonna finish off with you. What'd you think of that video? You're muted, bro.
You're muted, Elmer. Bless his heart, Jesus.
That was Clement doing that.
That's it. That's it. You got me.
So there's a quote by Winston Churchill. He said this before World War II. He goes, "The only way to make a man trustworthy is to trust him." There's nothing there's no signs that you're gonna give, that someone's gonna give you. There's no red flags. That's like whatever. You just have to make that decision. You have to make that leap to trust someone, and then they have to grab that ball and they have to meet that call. In the meantime, what you want to do is try to better yourself. You want to try to like look. You want to try to look for things that make you a better person, and then if they try to change you, then that would be the red flag. I was in a relationship for 4 years, and then I started going to therapy. And the biggest thing that I learned is that I had no self-esteem. So I would do whatever this person said, and I would be completely complacent to her. And I would do whatever they said, and I would change for her because I had no basis. And I'm like a smart kid, and I'm pretty confident otherwise, through other endeavors. But with the relationships, that's when I was like probably at my weakest, because I didn't know what I wanted. I didn't know the things that I wanted to be. So, like,
can I ask you a question about that?
Go ahead.
When growing up, were you learning about relationships? How did you think relationships were supposed to be conducted?
And this is what we people might disagree with me about, but there is no learning. You just watch what your parents do, and then that's how you react. Every man in your life is your dad, and every woman in your life is your mom. That's like the old Freudian theory. So how you interact with your mom and your dad is how you're going to interact with men and women.
So then for your mom, she was always the one having the rule over everything that you would typically do.
Right. And my dad was very passive, and my dad was very cool. My dad was very quiet. So now I've adapted to that relationship. I've adapted to that type of behavior, and now the women that I look for are like very aggressive, very loud, and they take control. And so
let me ask you this: Do you find that is a healthy dynamic, since you've been in relationships, but they've never exactly progressed to a point that you felt comfortable?
So here's the thing, and like where I half agree with Sam and where I half agree with John is like, don't look at the other person. Like, focus on yourself. Focus on the things that make you strong. And if they come and threaten that, that's your red flag. I don't care whether this girl's a Republican or whether this girl has 2 different size feet. You know what I'm saying? Like that none of that matters ever. All that matters is how I react to her. That's it. And if I can't react to her properly, then then you gotta break it.
Was that learned through the failed relationships?
Yeah, 100%. Like you through failed relationship, you go, all right, so this is what I felt strongest at, and this is what makes me feel like the most, and not even strong, just like the most me, the most Elmer. And these are the things that I'm gonna try to keep into my next relationship. And if they try to threaten that, then I gotta make a decision. I either gotta be hard and be like, no, this is not negotiable, or I gotta go.
And I'm just asking all these just because I was someone that was raised similarly like you were, very dominant mom and very like more passive dad. So I find that a lot of guys in our generation typically tend to have a lot of these traits. We sit in relationships for a long time, but these aren't relationships that we see are going to produce anything. We don't see ourselves moving and marrying this person. And bravo for going to get therapy, because literally the same thing I did right after mine, because I was like, there's something fucking wrong with me. So bravo for that. But I think a lot of guys in our generation, we don't understand how, like John was saying, natural roles. Our natural roles that we're supposed to be the way we're supposed to be moving. And that's why a lot of times we have a hard time in our relationships, because we're not moving in our natural role. We have, and then the end of the day, we're still mammals. Mammals, there's a male and there's a female, and they both have their natural roles to play. There are anomalies, but anomalies don't make the rule.
Yeah. See, and this is where I differ from everybody else, is like there's a thought that the natural roles, and I agree that the natural roles are always there, but the world changes, so you gotta adjust to that. You gotta compromise, and you gotta move with the world. The world is always moving, and the problem with that is we're getting more philosophical. We're getting more thoughtful. There are things that we can't live. In the 50s, it was easier to live because you didn't have to think about much. Now it's different. Like, you can't live the same life that you lived in the 1950s because things change.
Can I ask you something?
Nope.
Can I ask something? You're saying that you're now taking a lot more charge in what your core beliefs, and you're not going to let a woman come in and shape that. And if she tries to shape that, that's a little bit more of a red flag.
Right.
I would say that you stepping it a lot more into your dominant role as a man. So
where
that would be a natural trait. That's a natural role that you have ingrained in you, and because you weren't abiding by that, then you weren't as comfortable, or we weren't as fulfilled in your decision moving forward.
Yeah. Well, I would say that it's a piece of it, but it isn't just about having to be a man. It has to do with my experiences, where I'm from, my culture, and this is where we're going to disagree with again, our innate personality traits. I think that we're born with our personality traits, and everybody with different personality traits have a different path to go by. That's why people like you and me, Clement, aren't going to be going down the same path as other people, as other guys. And people like Sam might not have the same path as Chris. You know what I'm saying? Like, we have to find our path. That's like a thing that we have to go through life. And you can't fit everybody in the same path.
That's true to a point. You have a natural order. You have a natural path. And you're right. You are born with personality traits. That's the reason I mentioned the research earlier. That was the 5 trait factor model. That was the big 5. And I'm sure Chris, I've seen some of the things she says. She knows exactly what I'm talking about. She's very well versed in psychology, just like I am. And yeah, you're right about the whole thing. But there is a natural way in which you move as a man, and that natural movement attracts the female. Male birds are brighter than female birds because they need to attract them to mate. That's why they are the prettiest. And that happens. Now, can you put...
But it's not physical with us. It's not physical with us. It's mental.
What do you mean it's not physical?
The reason that they're attracted to us isn't a physical thing. It's a mental thing. It's a psychological thing. So how does that develop?
You're talking about attracted to us for sex, right?
Yeah, and relationships. Well, like just in general, attracted to us.
Listen,
it's physical as well.
Two different things, man. Yeah. A woman will fuck you and not marry you. A woman will have sex with you and you will not be the person that she wants to be with, like, at all.
Right.
Period.
Yeah.
Like, there was the thing where me and CJ, we finally last week, I clarified myself. He clarified himself and was right. When I was talking about heavy set guys, big guys, I'm not talking about this these big sloppy 650 pound, 700 pound dudes. I'm talking about a guy who's just big. He's a big dude, big boy, right? That is not foundation for a woman to choose. She's not going to disregard that dude just because he big. If he makes her feel a certain way, she will fucking date him, and she will pick him to marry. She will marry him. If when he says yes, she'll agree, right? She might see a dude and say, "Oh my God, girl, he hot as fuck." In your mind as a man, you think that we're thinking this, they're thinking the same way we think, and they fucking don't think like that. They can see a dude that's hot as fuck, and that's it. They ain't gonna say shit else about him for the rest of the day. And that's that don't mean she's wrong. That don't mean she want to marry him
for a long time. Yeah, that we're agreeing on that. So what I'm saying is it's not the same. What I'm saying is not the same as the bird, because that's almost a trait that you that's like natural selection. Like, but like
I'm getting to that natural part. I'm getting to that.
Now the traits are charisma. The traits are intelligence.
I'm getting to that. I'm getting to what you're talking about. I'm getting to it. I'm separating the sex from the relation, the commitment, because you're crossing the two and they're not the same.
No,
they're not the same. Just like we will have random sex, women will have random sex. Women and men are just
agreeing. That's the thing. I think we're agreeing on that point. We're agreeing on that
point. We're agreeing. But when it comes down to picking, she wants a provider. Period. That's who she's gonna migrate to. She's gonna migrate to a dad she feels safe with. She if you don't have those two key things, she's not gonna be with you. It's not gonna happen. It's just not. Even with a woman who feels like she made six figures, she do all of these things, she has all of this money, she still want a man who makes as much as she does or more, and she feels safe and secure with this man. That is natural order. That is her natural order. And if you're not moving in that, then that's why a woman won't respect you. She won't respond to how you think she's going to respond. And that has not changed over millions of years. It has never changed. It never will change. It's just not going to change.
But the display has changed, right? How do you display that?
Elmer, this is your last comment, and then we're going to go on to the next question.
Yeah, it's a question. Like, how do you display that? Like, how is that something to be like the bird with its feathers? How, as a man, do you display that?
The way you carry yourself.
It's by how you talk, by how you
act. You carry yourself.
So it's different from having feathers. That's what I'm saying. It's like it's psychological. It's philosophical. It's no longer
what you drive.
The evolution has come with the spirituality.
Listen, what you ain't no woman connecting you on no spiritual. She ain't even thinking about that. What do you drive? What questions do they ask you? You said it's not. What questions do they ask you? What you drive? That is your feather. Where do you live? That's your feathers. What's your education? That's your feathers. How do you save money? What's your thoughts about that? Title. Those are your feathers. Those are your feathers. What is your job title? Those are your feathers. When she finds all that out, now she's gonna okay, he's in the ballpark. Now she's gonna start evaluating you from how do we get along? Can I vibe with him? Then she start, but first you gotta satisfy this part.
Yeah.
Can she feel safe with you? Can you be a provider? If she wanted to quit her job and have your babies, can you take care of the family without her income? Or or do you guys agree that once she might need to go back to work because you are such a good friend, you're such close, and she really don't want to you can't be completely the 100% provider on your own, but she likes working anyway. And if that works, I've seen that dynamic work where they don't mind. In this day and age, you probably have to do that, right? But when she comes from maternity leave, can you hold it down while she's on maternity leave? Yeah. So if you can do that, then y'all rock out together. It is not that hard, bro. I'm telling you, it's very, very simple. But you gotta move in your masculine energy.
Right.
And so was right about you've got to work.
Okay. That was the last thing. We're not trying to be here for 18 hours. Right?
Can I just
But
say one thing, Clown?
I swear, no, Elmer, no.
No,
If
no,
you did
because you're
that
gonna
one
trigger
thing,
me, and I'm gonna
yeah,
have to respond
a
back.
run-on thought. All right, it's a run-on thought. Okay, so the reason why we also did that reaction video is to prep for the next question. Modern men are confused on how to love in a relationship.
Hell yeah.
Modern women
Right
are
there.
confused on what men really want. Sam, start us off, Sam, since you looked strong and confident about it.
Oh, you know, you.
She got caught up in me and Elver's conversation.
Yeah. So, I mean, I was processing it all, so sometimes I just like default smile, like I'm like, you know.
Pretend you got it. You got it.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
Man,
So
take that choker off, like the circulation.
it's actually like super like not choking.
Elastic.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So modern men are confused on how to love in a relationship. Modern women are confused on what men really want.
Absolutely.
I mean, yeah. I mean, it's not much of a question, more of a statement. I mean, modern men are confused.
Agree with it? Disagree with it?
Yeah. No, I agree. I mean, modern men are confused on how to love in a relationship, but I think it's because it's possible that someone didn't define what love really is to them, or they didn't really pay attention or have an example of what love can do. But at the same time, like modern women are confused at what men really want. I mean, I won't say that from my own personal experience, I won't say that I'm confused on what men want, but I will say that there is some sort of, like, at least right now amongst modern women, I'm not saying, okay, maybe this isn't my own personal experience, but like overall, a lot of women in our modern times would be like, this man just wants to fuck. That's it. It's not like that we're confused on what they really want, but there's not like depth to what they outside of what they want.
What do you think men really want?
Honestly, I personally can't say I know, because
So,
I don't
would
really
that play into modern women are confused on what men really want?
No, it's more so personally. I don't like to assume what
It's
other
more who
people
cares.
want. Like personally, I don't want to assume what other people want, like out of anything, and that's just me personally. I mean, I know what I want. I know what I need out of friendships, out of relationships. I know what I want, but I mean, I'm not going to project my thoughts and emotions on other people. Like you have your own thing, I have my own thing, so I can't say that. You know,
Do you think there are traits that a majority of people would want? Yeah.
Yeah,
So-
that's what I'm saying though, is like just at least like from what I can see people posting about on social media or talking about in movies, you know, the media that we see nowadays, modern women will be like, yeah, I don't know what the heck this guy wants outside of sex, you know? That's just how it is.
Okay, I have a couple more questions to ask, but we'll go on to the next person. Elmer.
Yeah, I don't. I'll go with the second question first. Modern American view as to what men want. I don't really see that as a problem. I don't really think that. I don't think that women necessarily care what men want. It doesn't seem to be a thing that is on the forefront of their heads. And I don't know if it should, because what men would want or should want, they should get on themselves. You know what I'm saying?
Whoa, John. No, let him finish. Go, Elmer.
So,
Go.
I mean, like, if they're with you, they got you, and that's good. And then whatever else that they want, they should be able to know because they tell you. Like there shouldn't be any confusion about that. If there is a confusion, then like the guy is weird. You know what I'm saying? I feel like everyone's confused as what love is. That was to my previous point, is that the love changed now. because the love isn't the love what guys thought love was in the 1950s isn't the same love that exists now. And and what happens is they want to stay back there. They want to stay over there with their definition of love in the days. And what I'm trying to say is it evolved. You gotta move with it.
Really?
Because
interesting.
Really? You
All
gotta
right,
move
Chris.
with it.
Chris.
Yes, I think modern men are confused on how to love in a relationship. I think the red pill community is proof of this. I feel like for a while now, mostly women, but society, I guess. But everyone's been telling men how to be men, which actually isn't what men are. So then men approach these relationships with the advice that they've been given by the world, like to be emotional, be loving. And they end up getting cheated on by the woman. They're like, whoa, I thought I loved her. I thought this was right. And then they end up red pill and they're like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what they want. I don't know how to love them, And so I think men are very, very confused. And, when it comes to testosterone, what I recently heard is that it actually makes men naturally unloving. Men can love. It doesn't mean that it takes away their ability to love, but the way that men love is a lot different. Like their priorities are different. And we have to, and the society has to accept that, men, in order to be men, they have to be a little bit unloving. They have to push. So that's my answer to the first part. To the second part, yes, women are very confused about what men really want. I've seen proof of this just being on these panels alone. I've seen this on other YouTube channels. I think the issue here is
social media.
Yes, social media. I think women have lost touch with what makes them happy, like actually makes them happy. Like, for example, there's this woman on YouTube. I think she's like a past OnlyFans star or something weird. I forgot, but something in like the adult industry.
What's her name?
I can't remember her name. Someone named.
What was her story?
Yeah, so basically she was married, she got divorced, and now she has a bunch of businesses. She does very well financially. She's very, very successful, and she always pushes women to be independent, make your money, and then chase men who are also independent. Who basically what happened was she was pushing that she's so independent and that her life is so great, but then she made a video where she was crying because she felt so overwhelmed. Because that's typically what happens. When you build that much testosterone as a woman, typically, one of the side effects is that you feel overwhelmed. Making all those decisions isn't natural for a woman. And I think there's such a huge disconnect between who women are naturally, and that's affecting what they believe men want. Does that make sense?
Yes, it makes perfectly good sense. I saw a couple of videos on it. That's why you see women. If a man asks a woman, well, what do you bring to the table? Immediately, she says, I make this much money. I do this. I don't give a damn about none of that. None of that matters to me. It does not matter. It doesn't matter. It does not matter. It didn't matter if you make $190,000 a year or if you made $9,000 a year. I don't care. I don't care. Because you know why I don't care? Because I'm in my masculinity. And I understand that my role is to be a provider anyway. So I don't give a damn how much money you make, because you ain't making no money if you're pregnant for 9 months. So I need to be able to provide, because guess what? I want a baby. And if I want a baby, I'm going to be with a woman who also wants kids. And so what she makes has no bearing on me whatsoever. That's the first thing.
Yeah.
And the second thing is this.
John, was it always like that though?
Yes, my whole life. It's always been like that. Bro, I was born in 1974. I was born in 1974. Men open doors for women. You carry heavy shit. You mow the grass. You take out the trash. She cooks. You can help her. You be respectful to her. You recognize that your fucking sustenance and your recharge comes from her mentally and physically. She takes care of you a different way than you take care of her. Yep. That's how I was raised, and that's all I know, and that's all. And I carry that throughout my life, and I've never had any problems choosing no damn woman ever. And if I was on the market, I could choose women that was 20 years my junior. I promise you that. And them going out with me would be a hell of a lot better experience than them going out with a modern guy. I promise you, they wouldn't even look at y'all no more at all. Because I'm going to talk to them. I'm going to listen to them. I'm going to active listen to them. I'm going to let them know that I heard them. They can tell me shit. They can show me. I listen well. They can say something subtly. 3 weeks later, I'll remember it. And guess what? She fucking, oh my God, this shit is so different. He listens to me. He listens to me. Women love that. They like a man who listens, who is attentive, who is present. I'm not confused. I have a direct plan. That's sexy. When you meet a man who has a direct plan with his life, that's attractive. That's what I'm trying to tell you. Women are attracted to a man that's moving inside of his masculinity. She don't have to make decisions. And she'll test you. She'll come and act like she don't know what to do. She'll know what she should do, because guess who she asked? Her dad. Now she gonna see what the fuck you say. That's when she gets you. You done met a lot of the things. Now she wants to see where you are, because she's thinking about, like, if you pop that question, she gonna say, yeah. She'll ask her dad, and she gonna see if your shit might line up with his, or you gonna be indecisive and say, well, I don't know. It's whatever you want. You're done. At that point, you're done. You lost every fucking thing from her. It's like you're done. You're indecisive. I don't need a little boy. I need a grown man. Does that answer your question? All right.
Your priest. You're muted.
Sorry. Okay, so I kind of
have to do it at least once, I guess.
Yeah. Okay, so I wanted to start off by saying this. The reason why we have like this confusion is because generally men have been the same in their wants for years, and women are the ones that change, which makes it so confusing, which makes men confused on how to love a woman, and which makes women confused on what men really want. Men are confused on how to love a woman because we've changed and we evolved, over time, like from the 1950s on till now. And modern women are definitely confused on what men want these days. I see it and hear it all the time, especially on social media, on like some podcasts that I listen to. And it's quite like disturbing when like a man can tell you what he wants, but the woman will sit there and argue with you tooth and nail. No, that's not what you want. This is what you want. And it's like you're literally trying to tell a man what he wants. And he's the man. He's telling you what he wants. So yeah. Generally, men are still the same. They still their needs and wants. I mean, their wants have been the same. I want to say since the beginning of time, and women have changed, which makes it confusing.
Mm-hmm.
Sam, chime in.
Oh shit, Sam, get it, Sam.
Yeah, I had to raise my hand. Yeah, so I hear that. She's totally right. Women have changed over like the time of like the 1920s, 1950s into now. And I personally, I mean, even though there was no implication of it being a bad or good thing, I don't think it's a bad thing at all. I mean, it's definitely good that women, grow into whatever we've grown into now. But taking
it's a bad thing because a lot of single women that are depressed and that are living with cats and dogs and no babies and no family.
Yeah,
it's a bad thing because the most unhappy person. Sorry, I'm so sorry.
Yeah, so I'm a single woman and I'm happy. I have 2 dogs and a cat. You don't know shit.
I'm kidding.
Yes, I've been waiting for that damn politeness and that damn politicalness to go away. I want to hear the lesson. That's what I'm talking about.
Let her finish.
But I mean, like, of course, everyone's circumstances are different. Like, yeah, there are some women out there that are single and unhappy and all that good stuff, but that's not what I'm going to talk about. I'm going to talk about the fact that everything that John was saying, like, really
like stuck out to me because of the confidence that he had in himself. You know, the confidence in what he wants, the confidence in what he knows, the confidence in how he can talk and portray things. And I want to say that modern men, or like, you know, the men that you see in the media, the men that are in my age group, the men that are mostly out there making content that you can see, aren't like that. They really aren't. Like, you don't see a lot of men out here that can be like, oh yeah, like whatever the fuck John, all that thing that John said. Like, sorry, all that good stuff. A lot of the guys that I see on that make content that can be viewed and seen, like most of the stuff that you do see is guys being like, yeah, fuck this hoe and check out this girl's OnlyFans or whatever, and check out, like, you know, whatever the heck these guys are saying. And you know how everyone's like, oh yeah, the rappers from the 90s taught them how to do that. And I'm like, you know what, that's kind of true though, you know? That's kind of true, because they be talking about like girls like they're hoes, like they're objects. And you know, girls be coming back now doing this, like Cardi B be doing the same thing, and she's over here like talking about men like they ain't shit but a disco stick or whatever. You know, like that's how things are. Sorry. There was a loud ass crash of thunder. I don't know.
I just heard that.
That was crazy. I thought
somebody was breaking in. I was like, girl, look out.
That was fucking scary. Okay, but yeah, I'm like out here, the stuff that's being like poured into our heads. Sorry, and now my dogs are freaking out. But the stuff that's being poured into our heads, like the content that we see almost on a daily basis, is kind of like, I don't know. I personally could say it's kind of just fucking everything up. Like, as far as like being able to be confident in like what you want and what you can say and what you do. Like I don't think thinking of other people as objects is should be the norm, but that's what's happening now, especially with people younger than me. That's why a lot of kids, especially kids that are younger than me, are depressed because of things that they see in social media, the expectations that you see being set in social media. Like, yeah, I just shushed you because I'm talking.
Oh, my bad. Go ahead.
Yeah.
Elmer wants a strong woman, right?
Yeah.
To put him in his place.
Yeah, I saw her. I see her arms, and I'm like, oh yeah. But go ahead.
Yeah, I work out maybe once a year. But yeah, anyway, so that was like, just taking a step back. Like, I wish, like, even though I can't say that I'm a religious person, and I can't say that I follow personally all of the, like, I could say I'm spiritual, and I can't say that I follow all of the societal norms that everyone on this panel probably sees. Or, I mean, I don't know y'all don't know me, but overall, like, I found John's confidence just like, boom, like, that is sexy, like he was saying. Like, that, knowing what you want, knowing like how you're gonna get it, like, that is something that modern men can't do, which leads to confusion in love, which leads to confusion in life. And I'm not saying that all men are like that. Of course, this isn't like a huge generalization, but go ahead, Elmer.
Why do you think that men are like, the modern men are like that?
Because of all this shit that's getting poured down their throats on the media.
Well, besides that, because the first things that we learn are at home. So, like, who's raising these boys to be like that? Their mothers.
The mother.
Their mothers. They're emasculating them.
Maybe
making them like that.
Yeah, no, they are.
That's definitely an aspect. I'm not going to discredit that at all. It could also be their fathers seeing what they're doing. Could be that as well. It definitely is the people that are surrounded them. It's definitely nature and nurture. At the same time, nature versus nurture. So, yeah, it's a lot to unpack. But you're not. I mean, that's definitely a good point. Like, they're seeing what their mom is doing, and I'm not gonna like blame it on that only as well. But
here's a statistic for you.
Yeah.
76% of the personality disorders are caused by the parents. 76%.
I can 100% agree with that.
you are the first line of influence over your child, right?
Right.
And
So it has nothing to do with social media.
no, I say you're the first line of. Listen, you hear me out. You're the first line of influence over your child. So the reason that guys in my generation, it's not like we're not on social media. I make content. I'm not on social media like that because I don't need validation. You understand? But I was raised to think on my own. And because I think on my own, all this shit looks weird to me because it is weird. It does not line up naturally. So I don't pay attention to it, and that's why I'm not on social media. There's not a fucking thing I lost on social media. I don't give a damn about no IG model. Why? Because I would never marry a girl who would do that. That's not my thing. I believe that if I'm dating you, I should see the skin to a point. Well, I should see the skin, period. And everybody else don't need to see the skin because what makes me exclusive? Why am I looking to marry you? Because I date with a purpose. I'm not dating just to be fucking dating. I did that in my 20s. And we all know how I feel about young men and what they should do. We ain't gonna go back in there. Be a hoe. That's all I'm saying. But anyway, that's a whole nother topic. But you do that when you're in your 20s. And when you start getting serious and you want to find somebody, you want a woman who is conservative to a point.
So
she
can
has
I come in just a little bit, John?
Yeah.
So let's say you say that guys should be hoes in their 20s and their teens and all that. So what we're seeing on social media is a display of that. So I don't even think
a bunch of guys who are degrading women. That's what you're seeing. I was a hoe and never degraded a woman ever. When I went to a woman, I told her, I'm not looking for a wife. I'm not looking for a girlfriend, but I do want to have sex with you tonight. You with it? And she say, a lot of times they would say, you got a condom? Sure. And then boom, there it is. Or when I get a little bit of pushback, like, girl, I ain't no hoe. Boo, I'm not trying to pay you. I'm not. That's what a hoe does. What do you mean? I'm giving you the most dynamic compliment a man can give you. And I'm giving you something else that most men is not going to give you. Which is the truth.
So what I'm trying to say is, like, I feel like nothing really has changed. What's changed is what we're viewing now. So what we're viewing is what kids are doing, what they've always done from generation to generation. But now we're actually seeing it. Now it's in our screens. So now we're thinking, like, what's wrong with society? When in fact, kids are going to be hoes till their late 20s, and then they're going to settle down. And we're not watching the kids that have settled down already. We're not watching those things. So there's like our view of what society is now is a view of little kids. So I don't really think much has changed. Women are going to always change, and then men have to adjust to that. That's always going to be the thing.
I totally disagree with you. I totally disagree with you, bro, because when I was out being a hoe, it was not a lot of us being hoes. It wasn't. You had dudes who was married already. Most men was married by the time they was 18, 19 years old.
So what are you seeing? You're not seeing that on TikTok, though. What you're seeing is the extremes. Like, that's what our view of what we're seeing is diluted almost. It's not adjusted well, because what we saw the average do, we don't see that. We just see the what people hype up. It's fake. But like that's what they've been doing. They've always been doing that, and we've always been hoes till we're kids, until when we're kids, and then later in our years we find someone, we settle down, we have kids, yada yada yada. We're not seeing that, and that's why there's a perception that this generation, and there's always going to be that perception. The next generation.
Looking at it, we are looking at it. We hear it. We see it. We hear y'all when y'all speak. Y'all are. Something's wrong. Like, there's something wrong.
You said shit when you were 19 that you don't believe in now.
Listen here. I did not. When I was 19 and 20, I started having sex when I was 20. All right, so when I was 20, I did not kiss and tell, bruh. I didn't go around bragging on who I smashed. I ain't do that. I ain't like, yeah, I fucked this bitch right here. I fucked this. We talk about this shit, and when we did talk later on in life, I talk in the privacy of just guys. I promise you I ain't putting that shit on no platform for everybody to see. and everybody know and all this other
Maybe
stuff.
maybe
like
if you had the platform, you would do it. You know what I'm saying?
Say what now?
Like you didn't have the platform. You don't know. If you had the platform, maybe you would have done it. It's like there's no art. There's no
plans, bro. It was groups of us that ran together. The shit that y'all don't do on the Saturdays, we did. It was called playing. We played. It's 20 and 30, 40 of us at a time. So yeah, we put everybody on blast.
And I agree with you on that. And that's really my bad.
We looked at women differently than how y'all look at women. We looked at, and women looked at themselves differently. That like the women in my generation, they wouldn't do that bullshit. Bro, women in our generation would not do that bullshit. They would not. All this, like, it's a woman on Instagram. I don't know what her name is, but she like fat as fuck. And somebody done told her she got a nice ass, but she's got cellulite all over this big ass ballooned up ass. And she's about 40 some years old, and she thinks she's sexy because it is, you got your generation, right? Is saying that, well, you don't fat shame. You should not say that. If you fucking fat, you fat. Oh well. But don't be on there talking about you're confident.
And that draws to your personal. Hold on. Let that draws to your personal views and
hold on, Elmer. Hold on. Let Christina talk.
Go ahead, Christina.
Hey, John. So you're saying that you said in your 20s, which was the 90s, right? Your 20s were in the 90s.
Yep.
Do you think that you were, in your words, hoeing around because you could, or because, okay, who do you think was kind of gave you like the go ahead to hoe around? Like, do you think that you would have still been able to hoe around if women weren't allowing you to hoe around? Like they weren't sleeping around?
All right, so you asked me a specific question, and I'm gonna give you the same answer I gave Clement, and he knows where it come from. You know where it came from? See, I was raised a certain way, right? So I found out at 16 years old that whole flowers and candy bullshit is for simps. Y'all, women don't fucking like that. And let me explain. Andrella Stevens, I still remember this fucker's name, brought her. I had all these Christmas presents. I'm up here, and I come to her house. A stud is sitting on the goddamn couch. Football player, beautiful guy, light skin, curly hair, built. That's what women like. That's what they want. That rugged boy, the boy who don't call back sometimes. Hard, you know, he a little bad boy. You understand? Now, was he a piece of good? No, he wasn't. She wasn't shit. But guess who she shitted on? She shitted on the nice guy. I'm the nice guy. I wasn't having sex at that point. I mean, we would kiss and shit like that. But she was getting her back beat out by him. I wouldn't say I was still a virgin. She broke my fucking heart, bro. I went back crying and all this other bullshit. And I went, when shortly after that, I did some other things in the streets and all this other stuff. But I ended up going to the military. Went to the military. I wasn't a fat guy. I was chubby, but I wasn't fat. I was 6 foot 225. That's not fucking fat. Okay. But I went into the military and I ended up being 6 foot 185 pounds with a fucking 8-pack. Fine as shit. I ain't gonna lie. So I come back. She fat as hell. Why? Because she done got pregnant by this sorry piece of shit 3 fucking times, and her body is discombobulated. Guess who she wants to fucking date? She wants to date me. I said, hell no, I don't date fat girls. And I hurt her fucking feelings. Was it right? Yeah, no. But did it feel good? Absolutely. It felt real fucking good, right? Yeah. So I vowed that day, with me going back to fucking Talladega, Alabama, crying with fucking, after the bitch took my presents. She took my goddamn presents anyway. And then ushered me out the door and shut the door behind her, but I could see. I would never be hurt again. I would never be vulnerable fucking again. That if I looked at myself when I was in the military, I said, you know what? You attracted this hot ass girl at the pool all by yourself. So I started learning women to a T. Remember how what my mom told me, you don't want to call a girl too quick. I made that girl wait for 2 weeks. When I called her, she was like, hey, is this John at the pool? I'm like, my mama was fucking right. And I put everything that I learned to work. And she said women like niggas who are straightforward. So fuck, I want to have sex. I was straightforward. That's where that came from. And I stayed like that until I got emotionally abused for 5 years. No, 9 years because I only wanted dimes. If you was an average looking girl, I wouldn't talk to you. But if you was somebody who with nobody, who people with niggas was scared to talk to, or you was my cup of tea, I went right for them. That's who I wanted to talk to, right? And I got piece of shit girl after piece of shit girl, had a baby with 3 pieces of shit. I'm sorry, I did. But here's the thing. What did I learn? I learned that I had a problem being alone. I learned that I was carrying a lot of fucking trauma from the very first, from all the way back at 16 years old, I was carrying fucking trauma. Now, until I was able to spend 2 years by myself with nobody, and I even almost married the one who was my first, the one that was at the pool. 20 years later, but she tried to change me. She tried to change who I was. I wasn't having it. And then she was like all about bullshit still, so I didn't choose her. The woman that I chose, she was agreeable. She was my Proverbs 31. She's independent. She wants me. She don't necessarily need me, but she loves having me around. I'm a man. She lets me lead. I take charge. She don't have a problem with that. She meets all of my criteria. You understand? We're compatible in the 5 major areas, and we complement each other. Where I'm good at, she's not that strong. Where she's strong at, I'm not that strong. So it works for us. That's where the hoeing came from. That trauma right there. And when I stepped back and I came back into it, I did not change like who I was. I found out who I was. I had been changing. I had been changing to be something that I really was not. Because deep down inside, I'm sweet. But I knew sweet wasn't going to fucking get it. I had to alter myself. And what did that lead me? I was emotionally abused for 9 fucking years.
Right.
Whole business.
John,
destroyed.
did you have to get that sweetness back after the 9 years? Or like, do you feel like you had to like adjust back?
See, I wouldn't
like,
be vulnerable with nobody. But she gave me the outlet to be vulnerable on, because the main thing that she did for me was I smoked cigarettes. So she didn't care. I had let myself go. She didn't care. She liked me on who I was to the table. So, like, why would you date a man who let himself go? Because without her saying a fucking thing, me just using my common sense, I'm putting myself back together again. And it ain't her fucking idea. It was my idea. I came to her. And the supportive role, being supportive like she is, she does the shit with me. She work out with me. And then we send each other body shot pictures showing how we changing and how the diets are working, how we working out. And we do this shit. This is a topic of our conversation now. That's how this shit works. So when you know what the fuck it is, when you date with a purpose, know what the fuck it is you want, know what you're looking for, and you want to accept less, know what you're absolutely not, sir, and what you're willing to give and take on, you can find the right person. You can find that right person. But sometimes you gotta first look at you. Like every relationship I'm with, I wasn't always the fucking victim. Sometimes I was the fucking reason.
Yeah.
My first girl showed me that I did not give a fuck about family. All I cared about was making fucking $200,000+ a year. I didn't give a fuck about being at home with no kids. I ain't want to do none of that bullshit. But she didn't want for nothing. She cheated. Now, some women will say, well, she didn't have to. Yes, she did. I was not there emotionally. Like, I was not giving her what she fucking needed. A woman has to have your emotional support just as well as your financial support, so you can't be lopsided like that. Now, should she cheat? No, nobody should cheat. But does it happen? Absolutely. Could I stay? No, I couldn't. I left. She had a whole fucking baby in that relationship. No, I just couldn't get past that. The other one, the next one, once I learned that lesson, the other one showed me where, you know, you're not as tidy as you could be. You need to help me out. I'm giving you children. I'm doing this.
Yeah.
I'll be a bet. She taught me how to be a better person. So
John,
this girl, she gets everything.
John, do you think the problem with kids now is that, or the boys now, is that they don't want to learn anymore? They don't want to like get that rejection or get that hurt anymore.
They don't have a dad. That's the fucking problem. They don't have a dad as a model. Social learning theory, Albert Bandura, bro.
A masculine figure.
You gotta have a masculine figure. There was a research.
The dad could be there, but if he's limp wristed, it doesn't really matter.
Right.
Yeah. They don't have a dad and they don't have a happy mother. Oh, sorry.
Exactly. Lippmann 2019 published research, if she conducted on just single moms who had boys, that was her sample size. 96% of her sample size showed feminine qualities. You can't, I mean, shows feminine qualities. And they say, well, John, when you raised by a saint, absolutely. And I fucking demonstrated feminine qualities. For instance, you see how she's playing with her hair? I know how to braid her hair. I know how to fucking cook just about any fucking thing. And I don't need a cookbook. You understand? I know how to fucking sew. I know what darning is. If you don't sew, you don't know what darning is. Darning is when you go behind, right? You sew the initial stitch, and then you sew a loop, and then you tie that bitch off on the inside, now on the outside. Like that shit, I know how to crochet. I know how to fucking knit. Okay? Now, do I know how to fix anything with my hands, Clement? Fuck no, I don't. No, I do not.
That's what I learned.
And I don't fucking know. I swear to God, you tell me to fix something, I'm not handy. I get that. I would pay a motherfucker. I didn't have nobody to learn that shit from. I'm watching women. I'm good with kids, but I'm not built to have the patience for it. Do you understand what I'm saying? Like, I'm great with kids. I know how to make bottles the old-fashioned way. I know how to fucking change a diaper, not a pamper, a fucking diaper with the safety pant. I know how to do all that shit. Make a bottle, check it on the soft tissue on your fucking wrist. You know how to do that? You boil the fucking bottle. You don't put it in the fucking microwave. You actually put it in the microwave, makes it too fucking hot. You boil the fucking water, it gets to the optimal temperature. Once the water starts boiling, you can take it out at that point because that's good enough for the baby. Anything longer is too goddamn hot. A man ain't supposed to know this shit. But that's what I know. You understand? You asked me about what do you use to check the fucking blood. I know that now, 9/16 or 13 millimeter. But before I owned the fucking mechanic shop, you got me. I don't fucking know. I mean, I didn't have that model. So I went into the military and I started seeing guys, how they move. And there was a part of me that felt soft. Like, I volunteered for everything that was hard. Ranger school, airborne school, sniper school. I wanted to do everything because I wanted to prove to my fucking self that I was a fucking man. Why? Because I didn't have no fucking test. And I understood what was wrong with me when I had boys. When your boy get to be 12, he bumps into you. Excuse me, Dad. He testing his fucking self. He trying to see where he is in comparison to your strength. Now, if they bump me again, boy, I'm going to bounce your little ass. Dad ain't scared of you. And you bounce him, and he get mad. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, okay, I still need to do some more push-ups. I say, yeah, you need to do a hell of a lot of push-ups. Now, 18,
he
not so
learns
much.
his place. He learns
because he's knowing where he is in the pecking order. He tries you out. Not that a dad around the house is a valuable fucking thing. Because a boy at 13 can take a woman out of here. A woman can't handle no fucking son if he decides to buck. If he decides to buck and put hands on you, you done got hands put on you. At 13, I was already 5'9", about 195 pounds. My mama is 5'4". It wasn't a damn thing. I was already bench pressing almost 200 pounds. Squatting close to 300 pounds. There's no fucking way my mom could do a damn thing with me. If I decided I was going to really rule the roost, it ain't shit she could do but call her brothers. Because her and none of her sisters could help her. Why do you think women are so quick to give an unruly child that she's been friends with for 13 fucking years back to their daddy? You come get the motherfucker. He won't even listen to me. Right, because he's going to try to run you. Oedipus complex. You have allowed him to replace the father in the home. And he's looking at you as a point of that, you know, people don't believe in the Oedipus complex and the Oedipus complex because it's sexual, but I do. A boy will seek to replace the father in the house. He will tell you you ain't going to wear that out. Why you going out with him? He started questioning you. So if your son questioning you, why the fuck you think it's so weird when a fucking man say the same shit to you? A grown ass man. Say, where you going? Why you doing it? Nigga, that's in us. We do this. That's who we are, bro. We see women as possessions. That's how we are. How you gonna protect something that's not yours to protect? If it's not mine, I'm not gonna fucking protect it. Even though I did intervene a few months ago and somebody didn't have nothing to do with me. It was a woman, she screamed for help. I helped out, but that's just who I am. But still, she's gotta make you feel like you need to protect her. And if you out here showing your ass to every damn man, I don't feel like you need protection. I feel like that's what you want to do. You are doing this because that's how you want to move. So I'm not looking at you. The women who getting looked at are the conservative ones, the ones who are agreeable, the ones who conduct themselves like a lady, the ones who speak eloquently, but they have a little bit of a, rough side when you push that button, but they moving in their femininity. Cause see, you can't be, you get me in my masculinity, you get in your masculinity, you gonna get me in my masculinity, and you don't want that. Cause see, I've been a masculine my whole life. You just doing this at this moment. You understand what I'm saying? That's not how you move. You got any more questions?
No, these are good. These are good. I like your
Drop the mic.
sermons.
Drop the mic. Yeah. Round of applause. Round of applause.
I was thinking on what you were saying, and I think that yes, although the men of this generation are moving in that direction, you are also 20 years. That's 20 years of experience that you now could speak with confidence on. That's 20 years of life.
Yeah.
And it's like, I mean, a guy could speak with confidence, but it would be false confidence at that point.
He has to learn that. Yeah, you gotta learn 20 years.
Yeah, you gotta learn. You gotta learn it.
Confidence has to be. The confidence comes from knowing. You can't know if you don't really have much life experience. Yeah,
but that's why I say young men, and the women don't like it. But if you really think about what I'm saying, you could kind of see where I'm coming from. The women would be better off with a guy who had a hoish past. And why do you say that, John? I don't want a man who been with yeah, you do. You do want that, because everything that you guys require, dude has to have experience to do that. Well, I want a man who listens.
I was gonna say something that I did learn from my grandfather. If
What's
you don't
that?
mind me saying it. He said that when you said that you were sleeping around in your like early 20s and stuff. Unfortunately, it's a double standard. I mean, not well, unfortunately, because it's reality. It's life, and life is no doubt about it. Life is unfair, but we just have to accept the reality. But my grandfather said that men need practice.
That's why I was just about to say.
Men need practice, and women don't. I remember when I was vetting my husband, my grandfather asked my husband, has he ever been in love before? And because if he hasn't been in love before, he hasn't had a real relationship, then I shouldn't marry him, because he needs to feel like he has been in love before, and he has to have like been in relationships before, so that I don't really understand, maybe because I'm not a man, but he did tell that to him. But he also told me that men need practice and that women don't need to practice.
But then that's what I'm saying. Like, what are these
men
kids
need practice?
like? Men need practice,
So that men need practice, women don't need practice. But there will always be a whore out there for him to practice to, but you just won't be that whore.
Exactly.
That's what my grandfather did.
Exactly. And you do. Like, that's where you learn all these things that women like. You get to know that, bro. Like, you get to learn what it's like to be with an Iranian woman, what it's like to be with a French woman, what it's like to be with these different personality types. Every woman does not like to be sexually pleased the same way. So if you only got one fucking thing and she liked it rough, you got one of these under your belt, she like it rough. You get with this girl, you try that bullshit. Why? That's all you know. That's all you know. You think this is it because this one gave you validation. So you get whatever, like, no, nigga, what the fuck are you doing? I don't like this. Stop. You just had a bad experience, right? You didn't know because she gave you, is the way she moved. Like, did she come out in elegant lingerie? Did she set the mood? So why the fuck you think she wants you to do this hammer shit? That's not in her mind. That's not in her abstract insertion at that point. She is looking for a fucking very romantic, sweet, love-making session. She set the fucking tone for you to do that, and you came in like a fucking porn star and made her feel like a whore. You fucked that up. Like, you fucked that up. Now, if she fucking opened the door and she started pulling off her shit right there at the thing, get naked coming to you, she probably wants you to put the fucking hammer down, and she don't want you to be sweet and kissing and all this bullshit. She wants you to take her right now because she been thinking about the shit, and she's one of the ones that's outgoing, But if you ain't got that experience, you don't know how to read them fucking signs. You like, oh, come here, baby. You want to get? You are fucking up the mood by the minute. I'm talking about you want to jar her shit all the way up. It's like, you know what? I had this going a whole different way. I can't even do this with you. You make me sick sometimes. God damn. Shit. You know what? You fix your own self something to eat tonight. Where are my toys? You shut down the whole operation. Well, what I do? I don't understand what I do. But then you fuck around and you get a dude who's a damn player. He's seen this before. He's seen this before. He knows how to respond to this. He knows how to listen. These are tools of his trade. To him to get women to sleep with him, he's good in bed because they are getting him his next victim, or however you want to look at it, because they talk. Women talk. And then one will be bold enough to come up and try you out. Next thing, he knows how to listen. He knows how to swoon her. He knows how to talk. He knows how to be charming. He knows how to find out what she wants to talk about and let her talk about herself. And I ain't gonna put all this game out there for all y'all women to be listening to shit. But you know, that's a one-on-one conversation. If you want to know what to look for, I can tell you what to look for. But besides that, that's where you learn how to do all this shit. And then in the end, guess what else you get? He is no longer that fucking curious. Men are curious. We are not. We have to learn how to be with one woman because instinctively we want to be with multiple women. From now, here's your thing, Elmer. From an evolutionary standpoint, we are programmed to mate with women and pick up certain genetic traits. When men look at women, we are like, oh shit, she got blue eyes. I wonder what our baby will look like.
The traits. That's what we
and
look for.
You done heard a dude say that shit. I bet some of y'all on this panel, women, have a guy. I don't know what the. But I'm sure that at one point a man has said, "I bet we'll have pretty babies." Y'all ever heard that? That's what the fuck we thinking about.
Yo, I always say that.
Yeah, because that's what you're looking for. So if you look at this girl and you only been with one woman, this has been the same woman you've been with, then y'all move to a bigger city, and then this woman from Kyrgyzstan. She's got blondish, she got multiple colors, like blondish, like dark brunette hair, green eyes, dark tan, and she's just drop dead gorgeous. Oh, you ain't curious? If she started flirting with you, you not tempted? Goddamn lie. If you think you can get away with it, you gonna cheat. But if you've been there and you already know that, you know what? She fine and everything, but I know that this woman believes this way. And she thinks like this, and I'm not really want to fuck up what I got because I already know about this type of woman right here. Like I already know how she is. Like if you don't know, they're not gonna like if she has sex with you, she's not gonna commit to you because they stay in their own culture. Just like Indian women, like they might sleep with you, but they're not gonna be quick to marry you. Indians marry within their own culture. You learn that from being around those type of women. Just like Ethiopian women, they're real fucking. They're modest. They are very conservative. They will date other guys outside their culture, but not outside their race. They not dating white guys too quick. It's probably be a black guy, and they're gonna be real committed to that guy. You learn that by experiencing it.
Mrs. Black,
not reading it in the book.
Hey,
welcome to the panel.
What
up, boo boo?
Hey, boo boo. Oh. I just go up in your panel because, like you always, you can't even relax because of Elmer.
It's all fun, boo.
What would you like to say to Elmer?
Yeah, because, wow, I don't know, because I think really the culture where you maybe how your parents raise you, that's why your point of view is really different.
Maybe. I guess I was. Where are you from?
Philippines.
Oh, Philippines. You sounded Hispanic to me, so I thought we might have been raised the same. No, I get raised how I was raised. I don't know. I couldn't tell you exactly where I get my ideas from or what I get my thoughts from, honestly.
Are you Spanish from?
I'm El Salvadorian, Guatemalan, and Mexican. I'm mixed.
Now that's the, I know a little bit about your culture. Know a lot about your culture. And the men in the Hispanic culture are very masculine, manly men. They do
I was
not
gonna say that,
listen to
yeah.
no woman at all,
Mhm.
period. They provide, they work, and you do
Yeah.
this and you do
Well,
that.
I don't.
But they've split
think
their
I'm
duty with
masculine.
the kids. They are
Yeah.
really good with splitting the duties with the kids. Like it is not uncommon for you to see dad with the kids and giving mom a break.
Yeah.
Like you see it a lot. I'm talking about they are really involved with the kids. Family is a lot in the Latina Hispanic community, from what I've seen. Family
I
is
feel like,
like
yeah, family means a lot to me. I honestly don't even think that we're like disagreeing on most stuff. So like I feel like I have masculine energy. I feel like I try to be like a fucking man, you know. I don't
You
really
just
see
lack
it.
of confidence.
Say it again.
You just need to bring back your confidence, more confidence for you.
confidence is
Yeah.
real big with women and being attracted to a woman
Yeah, because
attracted back to you.
if you have your confidence, you can say like the man and woman is equal. You can say 50-50. You can.
But if you
Well,
don't,
I
then
feel like that.
you'll
I don't
sway
feel like
your
that's the thing that has to do with confidence. I feel like that's the thing that has to do with, I guess, philosophy or general beliefs. Like I feel like we disagree on certain beliefs. That doesn't mean that my confidence has been shaken because of that.
No, that ain't what she's saying. What she's saying is if you okay, so like if I say that the sky is purple, I don't care what you say. If
Yeah.
it to me is purple, then it's fucking purple.
Yeah.
Period.
Yeah.
Y'all are wrong and I'm right. Now, that's a real outlandish. That's not how I am, but that's what she's talking about. Like
Yeah.
you're not dissuaded. She listen, you won't be dissuaded. Like she's listening to you, you'll say something, but then you'll fall back. And like it's more like you making a statement. It's more like
Yeah.
you're learning as we go. You see what I'm saying?
I feel like I leave a door open to adjust, or I leave a window open so I can take in information, because I don't want, as much as I do have beliefs, I also don't want to be constricted by thoughts or like ideology. So I take in what you say, I take in what Clement say, I take in what Sam says, I take in what Chris says, and I take in what I'm sorry, I forget your new
John.
Breeze. Like I'm always want to take in what people say. It doesn't mean that I lack confidence in my values. I'm just saying that
you listen
where I
and
disagree
respect other
with most
people's
people is that there are, I don't know, I believe that your values don't have to be changed 100%, but they need to evolve, or they need to be edited, or they need to be adjusted, just like everything else in life. Like you gotta adjust to the times. You'll just be constricted to your past, or to what your generation is. And that's what I feel like with like when the old guys talk to the young kids, they don't know how to talk to them. And what I'm trying to figure out is how can we talk to each other in a way that's broad enough that we can all relate to each other.
The first thing you have to do is identify that there is something wrong in your generation, and your way does not work. It's not right. Your women are telling you that, other guys are telling you that. And that's when you have to sit back and evaluate, well, you know what? There's a right and there's a wrong answer. I don't care what. No, everybody can have an opinion. They're like assholes, but at the end of the day, the majority rules. And if you got 100 people in the room, and 97 of them are saying this right here is wrong, then you may need to rethink your position and go through what's called introspection. That means you have you study yourself internally and figure out what it is you want. And when you figure out what it is you want, go to an old head and ask, not just any old head, go to an old head that's willing to teach you the right way, not willing to try to manipulate a stupid ass value that has nothing to do with anything onto you, and project his insecurities onto you, making the situation worse.
Right.
You find somebody that you can really talk to and learn from them. That's
Let
what
me ask something-
like the old
let me
boy
ask something
supposed to
fair
pass
to-
that shit.
Let me ask something fair to what Elmer was actually saying prior, because what he was saying, I do understand, as in some coming onto a panel like this, especially at our age where we are still growing, still broadening our views and our mindset.
Mhm.
Shouldn't we leave a room to improve our thoughts?
Yeah, you
Coming
should.
onto this panel, if we came on with the unshakable confidence in what we know and that's it, the sky's purple, you can't tell me anything, why should we even listen to you?
Exactly.
With more 20 years more life
Right.
experience on top of us, why should we listen to you? Because
Yeah,
we gotta keep that like that door, that window open, because we're still
So-
learning. We're
Yeah, so-
far more solid than we were in our early 20s, but we still have far more to grow.
Right. But see,
And that's why I
why
feel like I listen. I take into a lot of what you say, John. Like I think that like you like I hear a lot of what you're saying, and I guess what I try to do, and it's part of my personality trait, is I try to look for the holes and see if you can fill them. If you can like answer those questions that I have, and I'll have my own beliefs. I have like I don't want to make any misconception of myself. I have beliefs that I have things that I believe in that I have like that are unshakable. But I don't want to. I don't feel like I need to express that here, because this is a topic about conversation. Like this is like about us trying to get each other's ideas out. So I'll like push my ideas out, and then I'll ask questions, and the questions might seem like I don't know what the hell I'm talking about. And I might say things that are like coming off my mind, but what I'm trying to do, Rosalie, is just trying to get John to answer questions, because he is confident and he does know what he does see the sky as a certain color. So I want to know, why do you see that sky like that color? Would I be able to see it as that color?
Maybe you really have need to have a strong what do you call this? A strong belief. Like even someone gonna told you just stay what you believe, because there's some people like their mind is like that. But if there's someone like gossip, like okay, maybe that's one, you change because of the people around you sometimes. That's why.
Yeah,
don't do that. That would be the
Yeah.
first piece of advice I would give anybody.
Other people can ruin your dignity.
And
They're
that's what
gonna
a lot of that's
ruin you.
going on now with the social
And that's
media.
the difference about the old people from this generation. Because old people like me and John, we have a strong beliefs. And then because before no social media like this generation, so we're just like, we're more than serious when it comes to relationship.
But that's why I try to build a platform like this, try to get people with great differing views, and have someone like John on here who's actually have the life experience to be able to express to the younger generation, this is a better way this should be a smarter, more efficient way to move through life as a man.
And then
Not
just
a lot
kinda
of
put your
not
modern
a lot
stuff
of-
with it.
Not a lot of guys have that in their life. Again, we have far more single guys raised in a single mother household, or guys raised in a two-parent but a very strong masculine woman as a mother, which throws a lot of it throws us off balance. So
Because you want to marry a woman, that your natural way is to marry a woman that reminds you of your mom.
correct.
It's even in mice, man. When we did a mouse experiment in graduate school, the mouse would go back and it would only attract to those mice that had its mother's scent as an adult mouse. That's who it wanted to come back to. You muted.
Oh, I said, have you heard about the rat Utopia?
Yes.
Yeah. That's
Yeah.
like, if you guys ever get a chance, look up. I think they have some stuff on like YouTube and stuff and some books. You should look up like the Rat Utopia. Pretty much, it was like a study. Some say it was like done. It was a study done on rats for Black people, but you know, take race out of it. But pretty much, they did a study on rats, and they pretty much took the men off the households, left the women to raise the kids. The women became more masculine. The men became more homosexual. They started sleeping with each other. They started grooming themselves. The women started eating their children. Then in the end, they all died. They all went extinct because without that order. So yeah, if you guys
You
get a
have to
chance,
have that order.
I got
And even there was and one other thing I want to point out, since we're talking about research, we are very adaptable. I mean, Albert Bandura showed that what you see on TV affects you. Go on YouTube and watch the Bobo doll experiment. He was demonstrating violence, but it does not have to be limited to just violence. When he says that there's a model, okay, so Vygotsky said that there are key adults that you will model, but Bandura said that for you to model someone, it needs to be a behavior that you can emulate. You need to find that person reliable or somebody that's why I say when your mom and dad is Superman to you, because that means you want to follow this model, right? And then you'll start patterning your behavior. It was a guy who did a monkey experiment with his son. And he thought that the monkey was going to, and this is really a really good example. He thought that the monkey would learn how to be more like a human. His son learned how to be more like a monkey. His son was crawling around like a monkey. He was making noises like a monkey, and it was said they couldn't prove it. So, but he mentioned it in the notes, because if you can't prove it, and if you can't, if you can't quantify it, you can't really add it in research, especially when it's being peer reviewed. But in the notes, he did mention that there was communication between the monkey and his son. So his son has started to learn. Do some research on feral children who are raised by wild animals. You truly are a product of your environment. And environmental factors play a huge role on how you see the world, how you respond to the world. A huge, huge role. If you've never been exposed to children, if you've never been exposed to parents as a baby and you were raised literally by wolves, and there's been several cases like that. I don't know if you knew this, but that's where the idea of the werewolf come from. See, way back hundreds of years ago, girls, and I'm gonna say European women would get pregnant before they should, and sometimes by their fathers, oftentimes by our fathers, right? And the child would be cast into the woods to be eaten. But not all of them were eaten, and they'll see this damn grown ass thing it's a human that is real hairy, it's never been shaved, it's walking around like this, and they think it's a fucking werewolf because it howls, it acts like. That's where that whole concept come from a feral child. And they call him Wolf Boy. But that's where the whole concept come from. It was the very first case, Wolf Boy. Everything, it was another girl in Ukraine that was raised by dogs. And from 3 years old up to like 12 or 13, and they never learn how to talk or speak, and they act just like a dog. She scratches like a dog. She can actually jump over high things from a kneeling toe hand position, can like clear a damn 5.5 foot jump, something that you can't do unless you really work on it. So you're a product of your environment. So what you see and what you take in, it is.
We gotta move on.
I know we gotta move on.
Yeah. Ms. Black Wall Street, do you have any final statements, closing comments?
Yeah. I don't have anything.
All right. That's okay.
Just helping Mr. Black Wall Street.
Of course.
For his trading business.
I always appreciate you listening in and you commenting on there. You're one of the keyboard warriors, and I appreciate that. So thank you.
Yeah. I'm just really worried because I said to Mr. Black Wall Street to drop his bros because he's always, Angry Bird. So that's it. So nice meeting you all.
All right. Take care. Enjoy
Okay.
your.
Walang
Merci
ataka.
beaucoup. Walang taka. Mwah.
Mwah. Ingat
Babush.
palagi.
You too.
Awesome. Awesome. Well, we are going to skip one question and go on to the last question because this went on a little bit later than I expected.
Oh.
I enjoyed it.
Oh.
So we're gonna go for a next panel. All right. So we're gonna have to set this up again. But the last question of the night: what advice do you wish you would have learned from your parents before dating, and can it work today? We're gonna go to someone who's talked far too much tonight, Chris.
You shocked me. I was like, oh, it's not going to be me. It's going to be Elmer or John. I was like, I'm safe.
I'm sorry, guys. I talked way too much tonight.
All helpful, all good stuff.
Yeah, it's useful information. Great.
I wish they would have taught me how to seek advice. So I guess the best advice is to seek advice. But I wish they would have, at a young age, told me that I'm not going to know everything, and then given me the skills to find people who can fill in the gaps. Like if I don't want to go to them necessarily. One of the reasons is because they kind of did this, but it wasn't spoken. So my parents don't really have a religious background. I went to church by myself. And so my foundation was very shaky because I felt like I was in a way kind of like betraying them. I don't know if that makes any sense.
You were fighting what you essentially grew up with, essentially.
Yes, exactly. And so I wish that they would have helped me vet people to be mentors, to help me kind of build my network as a younger child. And I feel like that would have helped me in my future, even when it comes to dating, even outside of dating.
Okay, that's pretty good. Japrice?
So pretty much, something that I wish my parents
Could
did
you move
do.
forward just a little bit towards the camera?
Okay. Can you see me? Is that better?
You still have like the ninja mask thing going on with the.
Really? Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
yeah.
How
There
about
you
now?
go. Much better.
Okay.
Okay, go for it.
Good. Okay.
Yeah.
So, I wish that some advice that my parents could have given me was to be more intentional with the things that I do in life, like not to think that the world is mine and I have all this time, and to venture into things and dib dab into different things. I wish how they are now was how they were when I was growing up. But of course, they do know more now. But yeah, so to be more intentional with the things that I do, and to think far more in the future than what they taught me.
Tomorrow. Okay. All right. Sam?
Yeah, I think I agree so far with everything that both Chris and Japrice have said. But man, I guess before dating, like growing up, my parents weren't in the best type of relationship. They're still together now, but growing up, I saw a lot of stuff that wasn't healthy. So, a lot of stuff that kids shouldn't see when they grow up. So it made me want to do the exact opposite of what they did. But in a way, it was the polar opposite, in where the other person wasn't, I guess, wasn't really shit to me. If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Which also isn't healthy, as I have learned from my former relationships. But I wish, if my parents were in a normal relationship when I was growing up. I wish they honestly, like even now, like I wish they would have taught me just how to love myself. Like I know that sounds really weird or really mushy or whatever, but I mean honestly, like my parents
It's
knew
not. It's not about being mushy. This is like, think about if you're telling your younger self.
yeah, well,
What would you be telling your younger self?
well, yeah, exactly, and that's what I'm saying. Like I wish my parents had given me the steps that it would have taken to actually respect myself as a whole person and grow into who I am without feeling like I need to inherently rely on someone else, if that makes sense. Like I didn't grow up seeing a healthy relationship. So me and I have 3 sisters. There's 4 of us total. All 4 of us have gone through unhealthy relationships that reflected, or sometimes were even worse than what my parents have shown us. And I mean, I'm grateful now because I learned, but back then, I mean, maybe I wouldn't have gone through what I went through if my parents would have taught me better or even just shown me something that was better. But I mean, yeah, I don't know. But yeah,
Okay. Hey,
sorry.
that's still a lesson learned. It really
Yeah,
is.
exactly. So yeah, that's my lesson.
Elmer.
I'm thinking about it. I guess just that there is no normal relationship. You almost feel like, and parents do this all the time, and it's almost like God bless them for it, but they try to tell you all the things that you're supposed to do, or all the things that a typical relationship looks like. And so what you do, instead of like looking for the things that you want, you look for the things that a relationship should be, and you adjust to that. So, and like they tell you the same thing, like find a good girl, get married, have kids, like that's so that in your head that's what your goals are. And what they don't tell you is all the stuff in between, like what is a good girl, what is a good marriage, what are having kids, like what is that. And so I guess what I wish my parents had told me is that don't it look into yourself as the individual and what you want, and then find an individual. You know what I'm saying? Don't look for the dream. Don't look for the imaginary perfect relationship. And that's it. Thank you.
Bravo.
Last but not
I
least,
agree with you.
bring it home, John. Bring us
Well,
home. What advice do you wish
I must
you would have
admit,
learned from your parents before dating, and can it work today?
she gave it to me. Yes, it could work today, but I just didn't listen. I just didn't listen. I don't know. I've always been very hard headed and confident. I've always been that way. I go in the woods by myself. I'm adventurous. I was just, hell, I was all boy, but I was hard headed. Everybody thinks only children and mama's boys. That I wasn't a mama's boy, and she'll be the first to tell you that. They assume that, but I'm not. So I wish I would have just listened to what the fuck she was trying to tell me. And later on, I did, and things got better when I started listening. But with all the advice that she gave me, I guess if it was one thing that I wish I could have learned was like what it was like to have a dad from day one. I had a dad. I had a stepfather around 15, and that's my guy. I love him. I don't call him stepdad. I always call him my dad. But my biological father was killed before I was born, and I would like to know how would that have shaped me um, differently? Because I think it would have grounded me more because I learn things fast and I'm all over the place and I'm always looking to understand. Like I'm looking to find something that I like to do, but I think that's still me, not moving in my masculinity. Because for you to be a provider, you need to know exactly what it is. And I had to learn that later on my own. Like, what would have happened if I learned it earlier? Like, what, am I not reaching? Like, I know how to come up with a plan, how to implement that plan, and know exactly where I want to go with it. But I had to learn how to do that. I believe if I had a dad, he would have given me a lot of guidance and showed me this is what you're good at. Stay here, focus here.
You would have shaved off a lot of time on learning.
Shaved off a lot of time. But then you don't know how it would have turned out. I could have been a different way. You know what I'm saying?
Could have been less of a hoe.
I don't know.
Yeah.
Andrella did me in, but she triggered me pretty fucking big. This is her fault.
Does anyone have any closing comments? For anyone on the panel, ladies, do you have any questions? Guys, any questions for the ladies?
Are we doing the meetup after?
Of course, always.
Okay.
Yeah. But on that note, everyone, thank you once again for watching my show, CKQ Podcast. I am my host, Clement. Do me a favor, please hit the like button. This has been a great talk, great panel. And we're going to do one last shout out to everyone on the panel. They're going to shout out their social media. I'm going to enter it down in the description below after the show. So one last run through.
Black Wall Street Trading LLC. Or you can find me on Instagram at Clement. What's my Instagram? Is it John Cornelius?
Yeah, Cornelius.
J-O-N Cornelius. I am never on Instagram. I'm never on Instagram. Hit me up on the YouTube channel, Black Wall Street Trading LLC. Learn how to trade some options so you can fire your boss. Now I'm serious about that. Like, you can make some really good money.
All right. Next up, Sam. Sam's ready for bed.
Yeah, I know. I turn into a grandma around this time. It's like 11 here. I don't know what time it is over there.
It's about to be 12.
It's 11. We're on Central Time together.
Oh, okay. Yeah. So we good. Oh, good night, Maddie. Oh.
Good night, Maddie boo.
That's another old person going to bed right there too.
Yep. Nah, she ain't. She'll call me after a while.
Yeah, no, but what was I gonna say? Oh yes, I'm Sam. You can follow me on Instagram at ShamWow. The O is a 0, not an O. Sorry, I'm like tired. Because this was a really good conversation. I love good conversations. You know, you had a good conversation when you're exhausted after talking, and that's how I feel. So yeah, it's been a lot of fun.
We hit all the emotions. It was good. It was good. My guy, who is on the phone, Elmer.
Sorry, guys. Add me on Instagram, please. Spanish_Lotus. Add me on TikTok at Spanish Lotus. I make medium funny TikTok, so if you want to like do one chuckle, add me, please.
Mr. Joe, you could have answered my question.
I'm trying to add you now.
Okay. Chris.
I'm trying to figure out who I added on Instagram. I thought John's name on Instagram was Black Wall Street. Is that not?
That probably wasn't him then.
Oh.
I don't know how to do this. I don't know. I do not know.
I'm gonna put his proper stuff in the description.
Okay. So. Perfect. Thank you. Well, thank you for having me. It's always fun to be on here. If you'd like to follow me, you can find me on Instagram at The Blooming Ebony. I'm almost to 100 subscribers or followers. So if you guys can help me get there, I'd be really, really happy. And I really appreciate it. I have a lot more lives coming your way if you're interested in that, to kind of pull you in. And then also you can find me on YouTube, The Blooming Ebony, as well. And subscribe there too if you like.
And last but not least, Japrice. Japrice is still muted. It's all right. It's a good way to end the night, Japrice.
I know. Okay, so I have an Instagram. So my Instagram is Yoakum, YOAKUM _J. That is the only platform I have as of now. But yeah, follow me. I'll follow you back.
There we go. There we go. And on that note, everyone, it's been a good show. It's been a great night. And we will see you again on the next show.
It ain't hard to see they trying to keep black in the back, just like Rosa Parks, cops shooting blacks as if they